Hello, everyone, and welcome back into the MSA Sports Network's coverage of Washington Wild Things baseball. Now getting you ready for Game 2 of the doubleheader between your Washington Wild Things and the River City Rascals. Hi, everyone. I'm Zach Ziegler. Wild Things able to take Game 1 of this doubleheader by a score of 2-0 behind a very strong pitching performance by starter Matt Frodden. Frodden will join us here on the pregame show in just a couple of minutes. Also going to have a scoring recap. Take a look at the lineups for Game 2 of this three-game series and the pitching matchup, all coming up right here on the MSA Sports Network's coverage of Washington Wild Things baseball. Now, the Wild Things took Game 1 of this doubleheader today by a score of 2-0 behind a very strong start by Matt Frodden. Both starting pitchers really rolling except for Jake Negretti in the second inning. Second innings when both runs came in for the Wild Things. Logan Uxa struck out to start things. Then Grant Fink a solo home run. Fink's fifth home run of the season put the Wild Things up 1-0. Then Jimmy Yezzo would walk. Kyle Pollock doubled. And Jimmy Yezzo would be thrown out on the plate by a very good throw by right fielder Robbie Enslin. Nailed Yezzo, and then the next batter, Austin Wobrock, an RBI double of his own that scored Kyle Pollock and made the score 2-0. Enslin once again tried to throw out the run at the plate, but was unsuccessful as Pollock sneaked in ahead of the tag from catcher, Mike Georgella. So it was 2-0 Wild Things. And then after that, Negretti settled in, retired 10 straight Wild Things before the sixth inning where he gave up a single to Ricky Rodriguez. Chris Grayson into a fielder's choice. Dave Popkins flew out and Logan Uxa flew out to end that inning. But Matt Frodden on the day was fantastic. Ran into one jam in the top of the sixth as Robbie Enslin reached on an error but was thrown out on a very good play by Logan Uxa. The throw from Ricky Rodriguez was in the dirt. It skipped by Logan Uxa, went all the way to the of the season, and your Wild Things improved to 28-25 on the season. The Rascals fell to 25-28 on the season. First pitch coming up here in about 5 minutes or so. 8:15 was the scheduled time around the ballpark, but players are still mulling around, stretching on the field. So whenever they're ready, we'll get you started here for Game 2 of this doubleheader between your Washington Wild Things and the River City Rascals. Going to take our first break here on the Washington Wild Things pregame show. When we come back, we have our sit-down with Game 1 starting pitcher, Matt Frodden. Frodden, a complete game, 7 innings of work in the contest. So he'll join us coming up next. You're listening to Washington Wild Things baseball right here on the MSA Sports Network.
AAA members enjoy 24/7 roadside assistance, exclusive member-only discounts, expert travel assistance, free identity theft protection, and much more. With that AAA card in your wallet or purse, you have the peace of mind, safety, and security that only AAA membership can provide. Already a member? Don't forget to renew. Not a member? Join AAA today at any nearby office or online at AAA.com. AAA, we're always with you.
We're back here on the MSA Sports Network. Listen to the Washington Wild Things pregame show, getting you ready for Game 2 of this doubleheader, joined by Game 1 starter Matt Frodden. And Matt, 7 shutout innings in that one, tied your career high in strikeouts with 7. What was working for you on the mound today?
My slider was really efficient, especially for swing and miss strike 3, getting it out of the zone, late break on it. And then my fastball, for the most part, I think had some good life on it by him where they were fouling it off for a little late.
And your team gets you 2 runs in the second inning. How is it working with a close game like that, 2-0 the entire time? You'd only given up 1 hit through the first 5 innings. Josh Silver got another hit off you, and you gave up a hit in the 7th. What was it like working in that close game?
It's always tough. Run support's great. You just got to go out there and pitch, and you're pitching not to ever let up a run. You don't want to give them a chance to ever get in the game. You don't want to get runners in scoring position. Just have faith that your team's going to be behind you.
And then getting ready to go into that 7th inning, what's your feelings? You just came out of a first and second situation in the 6th inning, going out there for the 7th. How are you feeling?
I was feeling pretty good. First pitch in the 7th wasn't the best. Spiked it a little bit, but I just calmed down and try to let my mechanics work and keep the ball low in the zone.
And it was your first start in a while after that All-Star break. How is it like when you have a long stretch in between starts? How do you keep yourself mentally ready and physically ready to come into the game?
It's always tough. It was a long break. Usually I try to just take what I was struggling with in my last outing, and just work on that. And even if you're not throwing a given day, do those drills to help your mechanics to get back ready for your next start.
And finally, you guys hadn't seen these River City Rascals before tonight, so what went into the planning and preparation going into this game?
Just getting ahead, keeping the ball low in the zone. As long as you're ahead and low in the zone, they'll just pound the ball into the ground and let your fielders do the work behind you. And when I'd get 2 strikes on them, I'd make sure to keep the ball out of the zone and not going to give them something to hit.
Thanks, Matt. Good luck the rest of the season.
Thank you.
We'll be right back here on the MSA Sports Network.
How does a 120-year-old company like Henderson Brothers keep up in a world that changes every minute, that keeps throwing curveballs, that flaunts new technology, that demands responsiveness? The answer is simple. With expertise. We insure the most successful corporations in the area, and they in turn recommend us. And for that, we're grateful. Henderson Brothers. Expect an expert.
We're back here on the MSA Sports Network's coverage of Washington Wild Things baseball, getting you ready for Game 2 of this doubleheader between your Washington Wild Things and the River City Rascals. Pitching matchup here in Game 2. Luke Wilkins for your Washington Wild Things, taking on Joe Pavlovich for the River City Rascals. And a look at Joe Pavlovich for the Rascals. Pavlovich enters this one with a record of 0-1, a 1.84 ERA. He's appearing in his 11th game, making his 3rd start of the season. So Pavlovich, very good to start this 2016 season for the River City Rascals. Been very reliable out of the bullpen. 18 strikeouts in 24 1/3 innings of work for Pavlovich, so he'll be a tough task for the Wild Things to face tonight. But for the Wild Things opposing him, Luke Wilkins. Wilkins comes into this game with a record of 2-2 with a 3.50 ERA, 51 1/3 innings of work for Luke with 31 strikeouts and 29 walks. Wilkins, as long as he can stay efficient and in the zone, he'll be fine. There are some times where he runs into lapses of throwing balls a lot, missing out of the zone often, and it causes him to face more jams than he should. So see if Wilkins can handle his control in this one. He's warming up out in the bullpen right now. So is Joe Pavlovich. Wild Things will still be in their red alternate uniforms. The River City Rascals have changed to their maroon road jerseys. So we'll see a different jersey for the River City Rascals. Same jersey for the Washington Wild Things. Basically the same lineup for your Wild Things. A couple of changes here and there. Wild Things enter this game with a record of 28-25. They'll lead off with their second baseman, Jamadric Magruder. Batting second, designated hitter Ricky Rodriguez. Hitting third in center field, Chris Grayson. Batting fourth, right fielder Dave Popkins. Batting fifth and left, Andrew Heck. Batting sixth at third base, Grant Fink. Hitting seventh over at first, Jimmy Yezzo. Batting eighth and catching, Kyle Pollock. And batting ninth at shortstop is Austin Wobrock. On the mound for your Wild Things, as we said, right-handed pitcher Luke Wilkins. For the River City Rascals, they enter this one with a record of 25-28. They'll lead off with their center fielder Alexi Colon. Batting second and catching, Josh Ludy. Batting third at shortstop, Josh Silver. Batting fourth in left field, Kyle Goodell. Batting fifth, designated hitter Will Martin. Batting sixth at first base, Clint Freeman. Hitting seventh at third base, Braxton Martinez. Batting eighth at third, Jason Marjano. Batting ninth in right field, Robbie Enslin. And on the mound for the Rascals is Joe Pavlovich. Pavlovich, as we said, has a record of 0-1 and a 1.84 ERA, making his 4th start of the year, appearing in his 12th game. Luke Wilkins looks just about ready as he's walking back from the bullpen with catcher Kyle Pollock. And we are just about ready for baseball here in Game 2 of this doubleheader. Going to take one more break here on the Washington Wild Things pregame show. When we come back, we are ready for baseball. Game 2 of this doubleheader here at Consol Energy Park. Stay tuned right here to the MSA Sports Network's coverage of Washington Wild Things baseball.
Hi, this is Hines Ward. If you're a high school sports fan, the place to go all year round is the MSA Sports Network. Log on every day to www.msasports.net for the schedules, the scores, the standings, the rankings, and of course, all of the broadcasts includes exclusive Whitfield playoffs and championship action. Anytime, anywhere, always there, the MSA Sports Network.
We're back here on the MSA Sports Network's coverage of Washington Wild Things baseball. Your Wild Things just about ready to take the field here for Game 2 of this 3-game series between your Washington Wild Things and the River City Rascals. Game 2 of today's doubleheader here at Consol Energy Park. Your Wild Things taking Game 1 by the score of 2-0 thanks to a 2-run second inning. Jake Negretti was very good for the Rascals, but Matt Frodden just a little bit better. I'd like to thank Frodden for joining us on the pregame show. 7 shutout innings in a complete game victory for Matt Frodden in Game 1 of this doubleheader. Tied his career high with 7 strikeouts and walked 2 batters through his 7 innings of work, giving up 3 hits, 2 of those going to Josh Silver. We have the signal from the field, and the players are just about ready to take the field here for Game 2 of this 3-game series between your Washington Wild Things and the River City Rascals. Rascals trying to take a game from the Wild Things, while your Wild Things looking to sweep the doubleheader. It'd be their first doubleheader sweep of the season. They have split the first 2 doubleheaders here at Consol Energy Park. So we'll see what happens tonight as your Wild Things take the field. Going to take one more break here on the Washington Wild Things pregame show. When we come back, we'll have first pitch for you on the MSA Sports Network's coverage of Washington Wild Things baseball.
Enjoy shopping and dining at one of Ohio Valley Mall's 100 merchants, including Boscov's, MC Sports, Hibbett Sports, Pat Catan's, Christopher & Banks, Men's Warehouse, and many more. Check out the new Buckle Store. And coming soon, Buffalo Wild Wings. If the little ones need a break, head to the Kids Zone, sponsored by Ohio Valley Medical Center and East Ohio Regional Hospital, your community hospitals.
We're back here on the MSA Sports Network's coverage of Washington Wild Things baseball, ready for Game 2 of this doubleheader between your Washington Wild Things and the River City Rascals. Wild Things line up for Game 2 like this. In the outfield, left to right, Andrew Heck, Chris Grayson, and Dave Popkins. Left side of the infield held down by Grant Fink and Austin Wobrock. Right side by Jamadrick Magruder and Jimmy Yezzo. Behind the plate is Kyle Pollock. Catching tonight's starter, Luke Wilkins. Wilkins enters this one with a record of 2-2, a 3.50 ERA. Appearing in his 9th game, making his 9th start. Has thrown 51 and a third innings of work, giving up 21 runs, 20 earned on 36 hits, 29 walks, and 31 strikeouts on the year for Luke Wilkins. The lineup he'll face for the River City Rascals looks like this. They'll lead off with their center fielder, Alexi Colon. Batting second, catcher Josh Ludy. Batting third at shortstop, Josh Silver. Batting fourth in left field, Kyle Goodell. Hitting fifth, designated hitter, Will Martin. Batting sixth at first base, Clint Freeman. Hitting seventh and playing at third base, Braxton Martinez. In third base, Jason Merjano. Batting ninth in right field is Robbie Enslin. And on the mound, Joe Pavlovich. Pavlovich entering with a record of 0-1 and a 1.84 ERA. Merjano at second, Martinez at third, Freeman at first. So Luke Wilkins warming up on the mound. Has been a little wild this year, so hopefully he can have a nice, efficient start today. Talking to manager Greg Langman about Luke Wilkins, he said he kind of pitches backwards. He pitches better to left-handed batters than he does to right-handed batters. So we'll see how it comes today. Alexi Colon making his way to the plate to lead things off here in the top of the first. Colon entered today before Game 1, hitting .263, 10 home runs, and 25 RBIs. Ready for Game 2 of this doubleheader between your Washington Wild Things and the River City Rascals. Wild Things looking to sweep the doubleheader. Luke Wilkins on the mound and ready to start things here in the top of the first. Wilkins has his sign. He's set, and here is the pitch. And Colon, a swing and a miss, no balls and a strike. First pitch in Game 2, thrown at 8:24 p.m. Eastern Time. Temperature's gone down a little bit now, 77 degrees. First pitch time and temperature brought to you by State Line Grocery and Hotspot. Wilkins 0-1, and Colon swings and misses at that one. No balls and 2 strikes. We were talking about it in Game 1. Colon, 10 home runs on the year, leads this team. Don't often see that from a leadoff man, but Colon getting it done from the top of the lineup. Wilkins set in the 0-2. And that one's in the dirt, blocked by Pollock behind the plate. 1 ball and 2 strikes. Kyle Pollock back in there for Game 2 of this doubleheader, catching both games for the Wild Things. Wilkins has his sign and the 1-2 pitch. And swinging a ground ball foul off to the right. The count will remain 1 ball and 2 strikes. 1-2 on Alexi Colon. Colon broke his bat there, so he's going to have to go back to the River City dugout and get a new bat after chipping his first bat. So Cologne will get that new bat handed to him by Josh Silver. Silver in the hole this inning, batting in number 3 spot in the Rascals order. 1 ball, 2 strikes, nobody out. Alexi Cologne, the leadoff man, just underway here. Game 2 of the doubleheader at Consol Energy Park. Wild Things winning Game 1 by the score of 2-0. Alexi Cologne at the plate. Luke Wilkins looking in, has his sign, he's set, and the 1-2 pitch. And Cologne to right field and deep. Going back as Popkins leaps, and he's not going to make the catch. It's off the wall. Cologne around first, heading to second, and he'll be in there with a leadoff double. So Alexi Cologne gets things started here in Game 2 of this doubleheader with a leadoff double, and that'll bring up the catcher, Josh Ludy. Ludy came into today hitting .299, 1 home run, and 21 RBIs. Nobody out top of the first. Alexi Cologne gets things started here in Game 2 of the doubleheader with a double off the top of the right field wall, as River City in business with nobody out and a runner at second. Ludy at the plate. Luke Wilkins looking in. Has his sign. He's set. And the pitch coming to Ludy. And a ground ball at the middle. Wobrock will handle. Nice sliding stop. Throw to first. And he got him. What a play by Austin Wobrock. Saving a run for the moment. Sliding to his left. And throwing an accurate throw to Jimmy Yezzo at first. 1 out top of the first. Great play by Austin Wobrock. And that'll bring up the shortstop, Josh Silver. Silver coming in today hitting .455. 5 home runs and 18 RBIs. Was signed by the Chicago Cubs. Played in their single-A organization before being let go and re-signed by River City. Wild Things infield in, 1 out top of the first. Wilkins has his sign, the pitch. This one grounded, nice pick by Fink over there at third. Fink throws across, and that's out number 2. 2 away, Grant Fink, a nice backhanded stab at third base. Holds Alexi Cologne right there at third base. And with 2 outs, that'll bring up the left fielder, Kyle Goodell. Goodell came into today, currently... Goodell hitting .270 with 5 home runs and 23 RBIs entering play today. 2 outs here in the top of the first. No score. River City has a runner at third and 2 men out. Luke Wilkins looking to get through this first inning scoreless. He's set. Here's the pitch. And that one swung on and missed by Goodell. No balls and a strike. 0-1 the count on the River City left fielder. Was out there in left field for Game 1 of this series. Not a lot of changes or a couple changes for the River City Rascals. Ludy behind the plate. Here's the 0-1. And this ball popped up to shallow right. We're going to have to tell you about the changes after this inning break as Popkins, will make the catch for out number 3. No runs in the inning on 1 hit, no errors, and a man left. After half an inning of play, the score, River City nothing. Your Washington Wild Things coming to bat. You're listening to Washington Wild Things baseball right here on the MSA Sports Network.
PA Leadership Charter School is a proud sponsor of the Washington Wild Things. PALCS is a tuition-free online public school for K-12 students. PALCS can help your child hit a home run in their education through flexibility, student-to-teacher interaction, and socialization opportunities. Go to PALCS.org for more information. Go Wild Things!
PA Leadership Charter School, lead don't follow.
We're back here on the MSA Sports Network's coverage of Washington Wild Things baseball, going to the bottom of the first, and the score, River City nothing. Your Washington Wild Things coming to bat. The River City Rascals align for Game 2 defensively like this. In the outfield, left to right, Kyle Goodell, Alexi Cologne, and Robbie Enslin. Left side of the infield held down by Braxton Martinez and Josh Silver. Right side held down by Jason Berjano and Clint Freeman. And it's Josh Ludy behind the plate catching today's starter, Joe Pavlovich. Pavlovich enters this one with a record of 0-1, a 1.84 ERA, appearing in his 12th game, making his 4th start. Has thrown 24 1/3 innings of work, giving up 7 runs, 5 earned on 23 hits. 7 walks, and 18 strikeouts. The lineup he'll face for your Wild Things looks like this. They'll lead off with their second baseman, Jamadric Magruder, batting second, designated hitter Ricky Rodriguez. Hitting third and playing in center field, Chris Grayson. Batting fourth in right field, Dave Popkins. Hitting fifth and left, Andrew Heck. Batting sixth at third base, Grant Fink. Batting seventh at first base, Jimmy Yezzo. Hitting eighth and catching, Kyle Pollock. And batting ninth at shortstop is Austin Wobrock. Joe Pavlovich going through his warm-up tosses. Pavlovich has been very good out of the River City bullpen, making his 4th start of the season here tonight against your Washington Wild Things. Pavlovich, his first appearance this year against the Washington Wild Things as he goes through his warm-up tosses. His last start came, excuse me, against Evansville, where he lost, gave up 3 runs, 2 earned, and 4 1/3, gave up 4 hits, a walk, and 3 strikeouts. So we'll see how Pavlovich does today against your Washington Wild Things. Jamadric Magruder making his way to the plate to lead things off here in the bottom of the first. Entered today hitting .412 with 1 home run and 3 RBIs. Pavlovich looking in, has his sign. Here's the pitch. And Magruder fouls this one back to the seats. No balls and a strike. And after adjusting the stats from game 1, Magruder now hitting .350 with 1 home run and 3 RBIs, facing off against Pavlovich. Pavlovich looking in, has his sign. Here's the 0-1. And Magruder takes this one for a strike as well. No balls and 2 strikes. 0-2 the count. Game 1 of the doubleheader featured a very good pitching duel between Jake Negretti and Matt Fraud in game 2 so far. Luke Wilkins, a pretty clean first inning, and now Joe Pavlovich on the mound. Pavlovich set, here's the 0-2, and that one's outside for a ball. Can't get Magruder to chase. 1 ball and 2 strikes. 1-2 the count here on Jamadric Magruder, the leadoff man for the Wild Things. Did not get a hit in game 1 of this doubleheader. Here's the pitch, and Magruder fouls this one off, so the count will remain 1 ball and 2 strikes. 1-2 the count for Joe Pavlovich. Not a starter, not a full-time starter for River City, mostly out of the bullpen. So see if the Wild Things can make him work early and get him out of the game. Pavlovich has his sign, and the 1 ball, 2 strike pitch. And Magruder hits this one to shallow left. Coming in is Goodell, and he will camp under it and make the catch for out number 1. 1 away here in the bottom of the first. That'll bring up the designated hitter, Ricky Rodriguez. Rodriguez enters game 2 hitting .301, 5 home runs, and 21 RBIs. 1 out, bottom of the first, no score between the River City Rascals and your Washington Wild Things. Game 2 of the doubleheader. Wild Things taking game 1 of this doubleheader by the score of 2-0. Now playing game 2 here tonight in the bottom of the first. Pavlovich has his sign, the pitch, and Rodriguez fouls this one back into the seats. No balls and a strike. 0-1 the count on Ricky Rodriguez. Took Luke Wilkins just 9 pitches to get through the first inning against River City. Pavlovich has already thrown 6 here in his first inning. Has his sign. He said, here's the 0-1. And Rodriguez takes this one inside for a ball. Count goes even at 1-1. 1 ball, 1 strike, 1 man out, bottom of the first. Ricky Rodriguez been in that number 2 spot consistently since early June. Pavlovich has his sign, the 1-1. And Rodriguez takes this one for a strike at the letters. 1 ball and 2 strikes. Umpiring crew remains the same. Robert Wright's behind home plate. John Sapphire out on the base paths. And coaching on the bases has remained the same for your Wild Things as well. Manager Greg Langman at third. Hitting coach Mike Marshall at first. The 1-2, and that one's low for a ball. Count goes to 2 balls and 2 strikes. 2-2 the count here on Ricky Rodriguez. Played third base in the first game of the doubleheader as the designated hitter here in game 2. Pavlovich's 2-2 pitch, and Rodriguez fouls this one off. Count will remain 2 balls and 2 strikes. 2-2 the count. 5 pitch at bat for Jamadric Magruder. The 6th pitch of this at bat coming against Ricky Rodriguez. 2 balls, 2 strikes, 1 man out. Pavlovich has his sign. He's set, and the 2-2. And this one lined down the right field line. This will hook foul over by the Wild Things bullpen, and the count remains 2 balls and 2 strikes. 2-2 the count on Ricky Rodriguez. Matt Fraud and fabulous in game 1 of this doubleheader. And now Luke Wilkins trying to duplicate him here in game 2. Pavlovich looking in, has his sign, the 2-2. And that one's a called strike 3. Ricky Rodriguez strikes out, and that is out number 2. 2 away here in the bottom of the first, and that'll bring up the center fielder, Chris Grayson. Grayson hitting .308, 1 home run, and 5 RBIs. 2 out, bottom of the first as Grayson makes his way to the plate here for the Wild Things, trying to get on base in this bottom of the first inning. Joe Pavlovich so far, 2 up, 2 down. Pavlovich looks in. Has his sign, he's set, here's the pitch. And Grayson takes this one for a ball, 1 ball, no strikes. Want to know the count on the Wild Things center fielder? Grayson's been out there ever since the All-Star break for your Wild Things. Pavlovich has his sign, the 1-0. And Grayson takes this one low for a ball, 2 balls and no strikes. 2-0 the count here on Chris Grayson. Facing off against Joe Pavlovich. Pavlovich looks in. Has his sign and the 2-0. And this ball grounded towards second. A sliding stop by Marjano. Throw to first. And a very great play to end the bottom of inning number 1. 1-2-3 go your Wild Things here in the first. And after 1 inning of play, the score, River City nothing, your Washington Wild Things nothing. You're listening to Washington Wild Things baseball right here on the MSA Sports Network.
You just never know how your day is going to go. The same holds true at Penn Station East Coast Subs. For some unsuspecting spuds, they start their day as Idaho potatoes, only to be transformed into hand-hewn fries. Unlucky for them, good for you. However, both your days get better because the fries get a sidle up next to a perfectly grilled Philly cheesesteak. Then, on their way to their final resting place, they get bathed in citric nectar, our signature lemonade. Wherever your day takes you, we recommend Penn Station be one of the stops.
We're back here on the MSA Sports Network's coverage of Washington Wild Things baseball, going to the top of the second, and the score, River City nothing, your Washington Wild Things nothing. First inning for the River City Rascals, Alexi Colon doubled to start things, then Josh Ludy grounded out, Josh Silver grounded out, and Kyle Goodell flew out to end the inning. Due up here in the second, Will Martin, Clint Freeman, and Braxton Martinez, 5, 6, and 7, facing off against Luke Wilkins. Wilkins able to work out of the jam in the first inning. Colon getting to second to start things, then getting to third with 1 out, and Wilkins able to strand him right there, finishing the first inning. Making his way to the plate to lead things off here in the top of the second, designated hitter Will Martin, and Martin did not play in Game 1, enters this game hitting .317, 3 home runs, and 18 RBIs on the season. Top of the second, no score in Game 2 of this doubleheader. Wild Things winning Game 1 by the score of 2-0 as Will Martin, the DH, steps in. Last game, the designated hitter for the River City Rascals was Josh Ludy. Ludy behind the plate here in Game 2. Wilkins set. Here's the pitch. And that one's outside for a ball. 1 ball, no strikes. 1-0 the count here on Will Martin. And for Luke Wilkins, he has to work on his control. Has some starts where his walks have affected him. So far, he wasn't too wild in the first, but this one's low in the dirt. 2 balls and no strikes. 2-0 the count here on Will Martin, the DH. Luke Wilkins, right-handed pitcher, in for Game 2 of this doubleheader. Trevor Foss starting Game 3 tomorrow for your Wild Things. Wilkins has his sign, the 2-0. And this one grounded towards third, but it'll go foul past the third base coaching box. 2 balls and a strike. 2-1 the count here on Will Martin, number 5 hitter in the River City Rascals order. As that ball ended up being fielded by Andrew Heck out there in left field. Had to flip it to the stands, waiting for him to get back to his position, and he just has. 2 balls and a strike. Wilkins set the pitch, and that one's outside for a ball. 3 balls and a strike. 3-1 the count here on Will Martin. Nobody out, top of the second. Luke Wilkins, the right-hander, on the mound here in Game 2 of this 3-game series. Wilkins looks in, has his sign. Here's the 3-1. And that one's outside, ball 4. First walk of the day for Luke Wilkins. The second time the leadoff man has reached base for the River City Rascals here in the first 2 innings. And that brings up the first baseman, Clint Freeman. Freeman entering this game, hitting .276, 4 home runs, and 21 RBIs. Nobody out, top of the second. Leadoff man reaching for the second inning in a row for the River City Rascals. Wilkins looking into Kyle Pollock. Pollock behind the plate for the second straight game here in the doubleheader. Wilkins has his sign, the pitch. And this one's outside for a ball. 1 ball, no strikes. 1-0 the count. Talking to Pollock earlier in the year, said the key for Luke Wilkins is to make sure he's confident in his pitches. When he has confidence, he can get anybody in this league out. It's when he doesn't have confidence in himself that he tries to start picking the zone. The 1-0, and that one swung on and missed. Wilkins got a chase in the dirt, and the count goes to 1 ball and 1 strike. 1-1 the count on Clint Freeman out there at first base. Freeman was there at first base in Game 1 of the doubleheader as well. A couple of changes in the lineup for River City here in Game 2. Braxton Martinez did not play in Game 1. Josh Ludy from designated hitter to catcher. Will Martin out to DH. But other than that, the lineup has been pretty steady from Game 1. This pitch is low for a ball, and the count goes to 2 balls and a strike. 2-1 the count here on Clint Freeman. Freeman out there at first base for the River City Rascals. Runner at first, nobody out. Wilkins has his sign. He's set. Throw over to first. And getting back in there is Will Martin. Martin on the year has 2 stolen bases over there at first base in 39 games played. Wilkins has his sign. He's set in the 2-1. And this ball hit the center field. Chris Grayson going back a couple steps on it, now drifting to left center, and he'll make the catch for out number 1. One away here in the top of the second after the leadoff walk, and that'll bring to the plate third baseman Braxton Martinez. Martinez enters this game currently hitting .231 with no home runs and 6 RBIs. One out here in the top of the second. No score between your Washington Wild Things and the River City Rascals. Wilkins has his sign, checks first, and the pitch. And this one's high for a ball. 1 ball, no strikes. Want to know the count on Braxton Martinez? Danny Rosenbaum played third base in Game 1 of the doubleheader. Braxton Martinez coming in for Game 2. Wilkins has his sign. He's set in the 1-0. And that one's in there for a strike. Count even at 1 ball and 1 strike. 1-1 the count here on Braxton Martinez. 1 out, top of the second. Martinez standing in at 6'3", 220 from St. Louis, Missouri, so a local guy to River City, as River City stands about 10 minutes outside of St. Louis. Wilkins 1-1, and that one swung on and missed. 1 ball and 2 strikes. 1-2 the count here on Braxton Martinez. 1 man out, runner at first. Wilkins would love a double play ball if he could get it. Wilkins has his sign. He's set. And the 1 ball, 2 strike pitch. And that's a called strike 3. Braxton Martinez strikes out, and that's the second out here in the top of inning number 2. First strikeout on the day for Luke Wilkins, and that'll bring up the second baseman, Jason Merjano. Merjano is currently coming into this game hitting .274, 3 home runs, and 25 RBIs. 2 outs here in the bottom of the second. Runner at first after Will Martin had the leadoff walk. Wilkins has his sign. He's set. And the pitch. And that one's at the letters for a strike. No balls and a strike. 0-1 the count. Luke Wilkins, not much of a strikeout pitcher. Does have 31 strikeouts in the year in 51 and a third innings of work, but really likes to have the ball put in play and trust his fielders to make the plays. The 0-1, and that one swung on and missed. No balls and 2 strikes. 0-2 the count here on Jason Merjano. Merjano, the number 8 hitter in the River City order. Wilkins looking in, has his sign, he's set. And the 0-2 pitch. And that one's high for a ball, 1 ball and 2 strikes. 1-2 the count on Jason Merjano. The number 8 hitter in the River City order. Runner at first, Will Martin. Martin walked to lead off this top of the second. Wilkins has his sign, he's set. And the 1-2 pitch. And this one lined over the head of Magruder into right center field. That'll get down. Martin around second. He's heading for third. He's going to be waved to the plate, and there's going to be no throw. It's a throw just coming in now, and Jason Merjano in there with an RBI triple. River City takes the lead here in Game 2. The score, River City 1, and your Washington Wild Things nothing. Will Martin comes all the way around from first to score on the RBI triple by Merjano, and River City takes the lead here in Game 2 of this doubleheader, 1-0. That'll bring to the plate the number 9 hitter, Robbie Enslin. Enslin so far on the year is hitting .272, 5 home runs, and 22 RBIs for Merjano. It was RBI number 26 on the season. Enslin stepping in, Merjano standing at third. Here's the pitch from Wilkins. And that one's in the dirt for a ball blocked by Kyle Pollock. 1 ball, no strikes. 1-0 the count, 2 outs, top of the second. 1-0 River City leading over your Washington Wild Things. Wilkins looks in, has his sign. Here's the 1-0. And this ball hit towards center field. Chris Grayson moving a couple steps in, and Grayson will make the catch for out number 3. But the Rascals do get a run in the inning on 1 hit, no errors, and 1 man left on base. After 1.5 to score, River City 1, your Washington Wild Things nothing. You're listening to Washington Wild Things baseball right here on the MSA Sports Network.
When looking to replace your athletic field, choose Pro Grass, first in turf. ProGrass has installed over 500 fields in the U.S. Getting the best artificial turf for your field depends upon both the product and the partner you choose. That's why architects, athletic directors, and players choose the ProGrass Performance System. ProGrass maintains an active presence in the field turf industry as members of the Sports Turf Management Association and the American Sports Builder Association, and is proud to be recognized as a FIFA preferred manufacturer. Call ProGrass today at 866-270-6003 or visit them on the web at www.progressturf.com. ProGrass, first in turf.
We're back here on the MSA Sports Network's coverage of Washington Wild Things baseball, going to the bottom of the second, and the score, River City 1 and your Washington Wild Things nothing. Joe Pavlovich back out there for his second inning of work. Retired the Wild Things 1-2-3 in the first inning. Jamadric Magruder flew out. Ricky Rodriguez struck out looking, and Chris Grayson grounded out to end the inning. Due up for the Wild Things here in the second, Dave Popkins, Andrew Heck, and Grant Fink. And Joe Pavlovich was very good in that first inning, threw 15 pitches, so not too taxing of an inning for Joe Pavlovich. Currently that 184 ERA coming into today's game has Pavlovich as the leader in the ERA category for the River City Rascals. Dave Popkins making his way to the plate to lead things off here in the bottom of inning number 2. Popkins enters this one hitting .302 with 8 home runs and 27 RBIs. Joe Pavlovich starting game 2 for the River City Rascals. Pavlovich looks in, has his sign. Now he'll step off. His time's called behind the plate. 1-0 River City, bottom second. Pavlovich has his sign. Here's the pitch. And Popkins a swing and a miss there. No balls and a strike. 0-1 the count on the Wild Things right fielder. Popkins tied for the team lead in home runs with 8 and leads the team in RBIs with 27 on the year. Pavlovich looking in, has his sign, the 0-1. And that one's high for a ball. Count goes even at 1 ball and 1 strike. 1-1 the count here on Dave Popkins. Popkins a starter in this year's 2016 All-Star game. Pavlovich has his sign, the 1-1. And Popkins takes this one outside for a ball. 2 balls and a strike. 2-1 the count. Nobody out here in the bottom of the second. 1-0 River City leads over your Wild Things. Pavlovich has his sign. He said, here's the 2-1. And Popkins a swing and a miss there. Count goes to 2 balls and 2 strikes. 2-2 the count. Pavlovich 1 strikeout already on the day. Struck out Ricky Rodriguez in the first inning. Pavlovich looking into Ludi. Has his sign and the 2-2. And this one lined foul off to the left, so the count will remain 2 balls and 2 strikes. 2-2 the count on Dave Popkins. Wild Things and Rascals play game 3 of this 3-game series tomorrow night, 7:05 for Thirsty Thursday here at Consol Energy Park. Pavlovich has his sign. Here's the 2-2. And that one's low for a ball, so the count goes full 3-2. 3 balls, 2 strikes here on Dave Popkins. Nobody out, bottom of the second. Pavlovich has his sign. He's set. And the 3-2 pitch. And Popkins takes outside, ball 4. Leadoff walk here in the bottom of the second. Has a runner on for the Wild Things. And that'll bring up the left fielder, Andrew Heck. Heck on the year is currently hitting .248. No home runs and 9 RBIs. Did not start game 1 of this doubleheader as Grant Fink got the start out in left field. Andrew Heck getting the start out there here in game 2. And left field's been a revolving door for the Wild Things. Both Heck and Fink splitting time out there. Pavlovich has his sign. Checks Popkins at first. Here's the pitch. Heck showing bunt. Takes a pitch high for a ball. 1 ball, no strikes. Josh Ludi faked like he was going to throw down to first, but he ended up holding the ball as Clint Freeman was not on the bag covering. 1 ball, no strikes here on Andrew Heck. Pavlovich has his sign. He's set, and the 1-0. And Heck fouls this one off into the stands. Count goes to 1 ball and 1 strike. 1-1 the count on the Wild Things left fielder. Heck, a Pittsburgh native, born and raised here in Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania. Here in his 4th year with the Washington Wild Things. Pavlovich looking in, has his sign, he's set. And the 1-1. And Heck to left field and deep. Back goes Goodell to the track, and unfortunately just too low as Goodell will make the catch for out number 1. Heck gave that pitch a ride. Unfortunately, did not have the height to get out of here as Goodell at the wall made the catch. That'll bring up the third baseman, Grant Fink. Fink enters this one, currently hitting .209, 5 home runs, and 13 RBIs on the season. Hit his 5th home run earlier today in Game 1 of the doubleheader. That gave the Wild Things a 1-0 lead in that one. Right now, River City leading 1-0 here in the bottom of the second with 1 man out. Pavlovich has his sign, checks Popkins at first, and the pitch. And Fink pops this one up to left field. Goodell a couple steps to his left, and he's going to make the catch for out number 2. So after the leadoff walk, 2 up, 2 down for the Wild Things, and that brings up the first baseman, Jimmy Yezzo. Yezzo enters this one inning .221, 8 home runs, and 26 RBIs. 2 outs, bottom of the second. Ludi just goes out to have a short conversation with Pavlovich and now comes back behind home plate. 2 outs, bottom of the second. 1-0 River City leading. And runner at first for your Wild Things with 2 men out, and Jimmy Yezzo at the plate. Pavlovich looking into Ludi. Ludi now relaying some signs to the infield. He's back down. Pavlovich has his sign. He's set. And the pitch. And Yezzo, a ground ball to the right side. Merjano, a diving stop, throw to first. And what a play by Jason Merjano to end the inning. So no runs for the Wild Things on no hits, no errors, and 1 man left on base. After 2 innings of play, the score, River City 1, your Washington Wild Things nothing. You're listening to Washington Wild Things baseball right here on the MSA Sports Network. Your Wild Things are back and are chasing a playoff spot here in the second half as their homestand continues July 20th and 21st when the Wild Things welcome in the River City Rascals. The series gets started on Wednesday night, July 20th at 6:05, first pitch in the form of a doubleheader. It's a bucket hat night. For $15, you can get a reserve seat ticket and a bucket hat. Game 2 of the series will start about a half hour following the conclusion of Game 1. Then the series continues July 21st at 7:05 p.m. for Thirsty Thursday when the Wild Things wrap up their 3-game series with the Rascals. All beer and soda will be just $1 on Thursday. Come out to Consol Energy Park and support your Frontier League Week 9 Player of the Week, Logan Uxra, and the rest of the Washington Wild Things. For tickets, call 866-456-WILD or go to www.washingtonwildthings.com. Washington Wild Things Baseball, let's get wild. We're back here on the MSA Sports Network's coverage of Washington Wild Things baseball, going to the top of the third, and the score, River City 1 and your Washington Wild Things nothing. River City getting their first run of the game in the top of the second. Will Martin walked to start things, then Clint Freeman flew out, Braxton Martinez struck out, and Jason Marangiano came through with a 2-out RBI triple that scored Martin from first and gave River City a 1-0 lead. Robbie Enslin would fly out to end the inning. Due up here in the third for River City, Alexi Colon, Josh Ludi, and Josh Silver, 1, 2, and 3, facing off against Luke Wilkins. Colon making his way to the plate now. Colon so far doubled his first time up, and in Game 1 of this doubleheader went 0 for 3, struck out and flew out twice in that one. Luke Wilkins looking in, has his sign. Here's the pitch. And that one's up for a ball. 1 ball, no strikes. 1-0 the count here on the leadoff man, Alexi Colon. Leads the team with 10 home runs. Wilkins has his sign, the 1-0 pitch. And that one's low for a ball. 2 balls and no strikes. 2-0 the count. Wilkins falling behind here in the third. And that's what we said when Wilkins falls into trouble. He falls behind and works from behind in the count. And it ends up causing him to get in jams. The 2-0. And Colon takes this one high, ball 3. 3 balls and no strikes. Nobody out here in the top of the third. 1-0 River City leading over your Washington Wild Things. Wilkins has his sign. Here's the 3-0. And that one's in there for a strike. 3 balls and a strike. 3-1 the count here on Alexi Colon. Colon 0 for 3 from that leadoff spot. So the Wild Things neutralizing his power in Game 1. Here's the 3-1. And that one's low, ball 4. Leadoff walk here to Alexi Colon. Same thing that happened in the top of the second. Runner at first, nobody out, and that brings up the catcher, Josh Ludi. Ludi so far in this one 0 for 1. Was the designated hitter in Game 1 of this doubleheader and went 0 for 3. Grounded out twice and flew out in that first game. Nobody out top of the third. River City leading 1-0 over your Washington Wild Things. Great pitchers duel in game one as Matt Frauden, 7 shutout innings and a complete game victory, just giving up 3 hits and 7 strikeouts. Here, 1-0 so far. Wilkins' first pitch. This one's on the outside corner for a strike to Ludi. No balls and a strike. Josh Ludi, not only a player for these River City Rascals, but also the hitting coach for this River City Rascals team. Instructs the hitters and is the catcher behind the plate. Ludi, the primary catcher for the Rascals. Here's the 0-1, and that one's outside, blocked by Pollock behind the plate. 1 ball, 1 strike. 1-1 the count for Alexi Colon over there at first base. On the season, Colon has 9 stolen bases. Wilkins has his sign. He's set, and the 1-1. Colon taking off for second. Pitch swung on and grounded to short. Wobrock has it, has no play at second, so he fires on to first, and it's in time for out number 1. Luckily for River City, Colon was taken off, or that would have been a routine double play ball. Runner at second, 1 man out, and that brings up the shortstop, Josh Silver. Silver 0 for 1, grounded out in his first at-bat. In game 1, got 2 of the 3 hits against Matt Fraud and hit 2 singles and flew out in that one. 1-0 River City leads, 1 out top of the third. Wilkins has his sign. He's set, checks second, the pitch. And showing bunt is Josh Silver, but he'll take this one outside and low for a ball. 1 ball, no strikes. 1-0 the count here on the River City shortstop. And the ball going all over the place on the field. Pollock blocked it. It went off his glove to the side, and the throw back to Luke Wilkins went over Wilkins' head. Jamadrick Magruder had to retrieve the ball. Alexi Colon staying at second base. 1 ball, no strikes. 1 man out top of the third. And at the plate is Josh Silver. Wilkins looks into Pollock. Has his sign. He's set. And the 1 ball, no strike pitch after a throwback to second. Colon just does get back in there ahead of the tag by Jamadrick Magruder. 1 ball, no strikes. 1 man out top of the third. 1-0 River City leading. Wilkins looks in. Has his sign. He's set. Checks second and the 1-0. And this ball grounded towards short. Wobrock has it, bobbles it, now recovers. Throw to first is high, and it'll go to the back behind Yezo. Colon comes in to score on the throwing error by Wobrock, and River City now leads this one 2-0. Josh Silver reaching on the E6. Another run comes in. It's 2-0 River City, and that'll bring to the plate the left fielder Kyle Goodell. Goodell so far 0 for 1 in game 1 of this series. Goodell went 0 for 3, reached on a fielder's choice, popped out, and struck out. So an E6 on Austin Wobrock allows another run to score. Josh Silver at second base with 1 man out. Wilkins trying to work out of a runner at second, 1 out jam. Wilkins has his sign, checks second. Here's the pitch. And this one swung on and missed by Goodell. No balls and a strike. 0-1 the count for Wilkins. You want to limit the damage here. Pick up your defender and get this out. Wilkins looks into Pollock. Has his sign. He's set. And the 0-1 on the way. And Goodell, another swing and a miss. That one bit low and in, and Goodell chased it. No balls and 2 strikes. 0-2, 1 man out here in the top of the third. River City leading 2-0 over your Wild Things here in game 2 of this doubleheader. Wild Things winning game 1 by that same 2-0 score. Wilkins looks into Pollock, has his sign, he's set. And the 0-2 pitch. And this one grounded towards the middle. Magruder makes the stop, throw to first, and it's not going to be in time. Great effort there by Jamadrick Magruder, but it's an infield single. Magruder saved a run as Josh Silver will have to stay at third with 1 man out, first and third, and that'll bring up the designated hitter, Will Martin. Martin so far in the day walked in his first at-bat and scored a run. Did not play in game 1 of this doubleheader. Josh Ludi was the DH in game 1, and Mike Giurgella was behind the plate. Giurgella ended up going 0 for 1, walked twice, and struck out against Matt Frauden. 1 out here in the top of the third. 2-0 River City leading over your Washington Wild Things. Wilkins has his sign. Checks Silver at third. Here's the pitch. Taking off for seconds, Goodell. Pollock's throw, and it got him! A caught stealing for Kyle Pollock as Kyle Goodell is thrown out at second base. There are now 2 outs and a runner at third here in the top of the third. And that's something Pollock's been very good at this season, catching runners. That's his 5th straight caught stealing behind the plate. A very good arm getting it down to second, and Goodell is cut out on the stolen base. 1 ball, no strikes here on Will Martin. Facing Luke Wilkins, 2 outs, runner at third. Wilkins has his sign, the 1-0, and this one hit down the right field line. It's hooking, and will go foul, and the count goes to 1 ball and 1 strike. 1-1 the count on Will Martin. Martin currently second on this team in average behind Josh Silver with an average of .317. Wilkins looking in, has his sign, and the 1-1. And that one's in there on the inside corner for a strike. 1 ball and 2 strikes. 1-2 the count here on Will Martin. 2 outs, top of the third. River City leading 2-0 over the Washington Wild Things. Wilkins looking in, has his sign, he's set, and the 1-2. And this one swung on and grounded towards third, but it'll go foul, and the count remains 1 ball and 2 strikes. 1-2 the count here on Will Martin. Luke Wilkins trying to get out of this third inning. Has had to do some work here in this inning, as he's faced a lot of batters. Hasn't actually thrown that many pitches in the inning. 5 pitches is the most he's thrown in an at-bat. Wilkins set. Here's the 1-2. And that one's in the dirt, blocked by Pollock, and the count goes to 2 balls and 2 strikes. 2-2 the count on Will Martin, the number 5 hitter in this River City order. Facing off against Luke Wilkins. Wilkins looking into Kyle Pollock. Has his sign, he's set. And the 2-2. And swung on and missed by Will Martin. He strikes out, and that will end the inning. No runs in the inning on just 1 hit, no errors, and 1 man left on base. After 2.5 the score, River City 2, your Washington Wild Things nothing. You're listening to Washington Wild Things baseball right here on the MSA Sports Network.
AAA members enjoy 24/7 roadside assistance, exclusive member-only discounts, expert travel assistance, free identity theft protection, and much more. With that AAA card in your wallet or purse, you have the peace of mind, safety, and security that only AAA membership can provide. Already a member? Don't forget to renew. Not a member? Join AAA today at any nearby office or online at AAA.com. AAA, we're always with you.
We're back here on the MSA Sports Network's coverage of Washington Wild Things baseball, going to the bottom of the third, and the score, River City 2 and your Washington Wild Things nothing. Last inning for the Wild Things, Dave Popkins walked to start things, then Andrew Heck flew out, Grant Fink flew out, and Jimmy Yezzo grounded out to end the inning. Due up here in the third, Kyle Pollock, Austin Wobrock, and Jamadrick Magruder, 8, 9, and 1. Facing off against Joe Pavlovich. Wild Things winning game 1 of this doubleheader by the score of 2-0. Currently down 2-0 here in game 2 of this doubleheader. I'd like to remind you that tomorrow night this series wraps up. Game 3 of this 3-game series. 7:05 first pitch. Trevor Foss taking the mound for your Washington Wild Things. Excuse me. Foss will be opposed by Tim Coons for the River City Rascals. It's Thirsty Thursday here at Consol Energy Park. All beer and soda, just $1. So come out and support your Washington Wild Things. Game 3 of their series with the River City Rascals. Wild Things trying to come back in this one and sweep this doubleheader. Currently down 2-0 here in the bottom of inning number 3. Making his way to the plate to lead things off here in the bottom of the third is Kyle Pollock. Pollock enters this one hitting .250 with 1 home run and 5 RBIs. Nobody out, bottom of the third. 2-0 River City leading over your Washington Wild Things in this one. Pollock caught game 1 of this doubleheader, also back in there for game 2. Pavlovich looking in. His sign, he's set, and the pitch to Pollock. And Pollock takes this one inside for a ball. 1 ball, no strikes. The only base runner so far for your Wild Things, the leadoff walk last inning to Dave Popkins. Pavlovich has his sign. Here's the 1-0. And this one way inside as well. Almost got Pollock. 2 balls and no strikes. 2-0 the count. Joe Pavlovich out there for his 3rd inning of work, making his 4th start of the year. Appearing in his 12th game. Has mostly been used out of the bullpen this season. The 2-0. And that one's outside, ball 3. 3 balls and no strikes here to Kyle Pollock. Nobody out, bottom of the third. 2-0 River City leading here at Consol Energy Park. Pavlovich looks in, has his sign. Here's the 3-0. And that one's called strike at the letters. 3 balls and a strike. 3-1 the count as Pavlovich getting a strike over here. Went full to Dave Popkins before walking him. Pavlovich set. Here's the 3-1. And Pollock pops this one up. Over towards first base. Clint Freeman now drifting into foul territory will make the catch. And that is out number 1. 1 up, 1 down for the Wild Things here in the bottom of the third. And that brings up the shortstop, Austin Wobrock. Wobrock entering this one, hitting .206, 1 home run, and 12 RBIs. 1 out here in the bottom of the third. 2-0 River City leading over your Washington Wild Things. Wobrock, the number 9 hitter in the Wild Things order. Pavlovich looking in, has his sign. He's set. Here's the pitch. And that one's high for a ball. 1 ball, no strikes. 1-0 the count on Austin Wobrock. Pavlovich has been with the Rascals all season, whereas Jake Negretti in Game 1 was in his second game with them. The 1-0, and this one grounded to short, handled by Martinez, Silver. He'll throw over to first, and that's in time for out number 2. 2 up here, 2 down here in the bottom of the third. That brings to the plate the second baseman, Jamadrick Magruder. Magruder so far 0 for 1 with a fly out in Game 1 of the doubleheader. Magruder went 0 for 3, flew out in the first, flew out in the second, and flew out in inning number 5. And Magruder to the plate, 2 outs, bottom of the third. Wild Things still looking for their first hit in this one. Pavlovich has his sign. He's set. Here's the pitch. And Magruder takes this one outside for a ball. 1 ball, no strikes. 1-0 the count here on Jamadrick Magruder from the Grand Prairie Air Hogs. Has been in the leadoff spot since joining the Wild Things. Here's the 1-0. And that one's in there for a strike, and the count goes even at 1-1. 1 ball, 1 strike, 2 men out, bottom of the third. Joe Pavlovich on the hill. Pavlovich looking in, has his sign, and the 1-1. And that one swung on and missed by Magruder. Count goes to 1 ball and 2 strikes. 1-2 on the Wild Things second baseman. Magruder hailing from Mesquite, Texas, 5'7", 165. Pavlovich has his sign. Here's the 1-2. And that one's inside. Count goes even at 2 balls and 2 strikes. 2-2 the count on Jamadrick Magruder. 2 outs, bottom of the third. Right-hander Joe Pavlovich facing left-handed batter Jamadrick Magruder. Pavlovich has his sign. Here's the 2-2. And Magruder takes this one high. Count goes full, 3-2. 3 balls, 2 strikes. Ricky Rodriguez, the on-deck man for your Washington Wild Things. 2 outs, bottom of the third. 2-0 River City leading over your Wild Things. Pavlovich has his sign. Here's the 3-2. And this ball popped up. Back behind home plate, Ludi giving it a look. And he's going to the screen, and he'll have room as he makes the catch for out number 3. 1-2-3 go your Wild Things here in the third. And after 3 innings of play, the score, River City 2 and your Washington Wild Things nothing. You're listening to Washington Wild Things baseball right here on the MSA Sports Network.
How does a 120-year-old company like Henderson Brothers keep up in a world that changes every minute? That keeps throwing curveballs, that flaunts new technology, that demands responsiveness? The answer is simple. With expertise. We insure the most successful corporations in the area, and they in turn recommend us. And for that, we're grateful. Henderson Brothers. Expect an expert.
We're back here on the MSA Sports Network's coverage of Washington Wild Things baseball. Currently going to the top of the fourth, and the score, River City 2 and your Washington Wild Things nothing. Last inning for the Rascals, they added another run as Alexi Colon walked to start things, then Josh Ludi grounded out. Josh Silver would then reach on a throwing error by Austin Wobrock that allowed Alexi Colon to score and made the score 2-0. Kyle Goodell would then single. There were runners at first and third. With 1 man out, Goodell would be caught stealing at second for the second out of the inning, and Will Martin would strike out to end the inning. Due up here in the fourth, Clint Freeman, Braxton Martinez, and Jason Merjano, 6, 7, and 8, facing off against Luke Wilkins. Clint Freeman making his way to the plate now. Freeman so far 0 for 1, and in game 1 of this doubleheader, Freeman would end up going 0 for 3, 2 strikeouts and a flyout in the contest. Wilkins looks in, Wilkins looking in as Freeman stepping in. Now he has his sign. Here's the pitch. And that one's high for a ball. 1 ball, no strikes. 1-0 the count. Wilkins has started off each of the last 2 innings walking the leadoff man, looking to avoid doing that here in the 4th. Wilkins set. Here's the 1-0. And this one hit down the right field line and hooking, and that'll go foul, luckily for the Wild Things, so that one had home run distance. 1 ball, 1 strike to count here on Clint Freeman. Wilkins' last time out was against Southern Illinois on July 15th. Went 7 innings, gave up 4 runs, 4 earned, 3 hits, 4 walks, and 2 strikeouts in what ended up being a loss, dropping his record to 2-2. Wilkins wants to go through the signs once again. Time called behind the plate as they will do things again. 1 ball, 1 strike, nobody out. Wilkins looking in, has his sign, and the 1-1. And that ball lined up the middle, and that's a base hit. The leadoff single here in the 4th. The leadoff man has reached in the last all 4 innings for the River City Rascals, and that'll bring up the third baseman, Braxton Martinez. Martinez so far 0 for 1, struck out looking. Did not play in Game 1 as Danny Rosenbaum got the start at third base in Game 1. And Rosenbaum ended up going 1 for 3, 2 strikeouts and a double in Game 1 of the doubleheader. Nobody out top of the 4th. Runner at first as Clint Freeman singled to start things in this inning. Wilkins has his sign. He's set. And the pitch. Taking off for second is Freeman. This one lined into right field, a base hit. It was hit too sharply. Freeman forced to stop at second base. Back-to-back singles to start this inning from Braxton Martinez and Clint Freeman, and there are runners at first and second, nobody out. That'll bring up the second baseman, Jason Merjano. Merjano so far 1 for 1, an RBI triple in his first at-bat. In Game 1 of the doubleheader, went 0 for 3, 2 groundouts and a flyout in that one. Nobody out, top of the 4th. 2 men on for River City to start things off, 2 straight singles. As Luke Wilkins in another jam here. Still no action in the Wild Things bullpen to this point, but right now guys are getting up and starting to move around. Wilkins looking in, has his sign, checks second. Here's the pitch. And Merjano showing bunt, gets this one down, but it's foul. No balls and a strike. 0-1 the count on Jason Merjano. Wilkins still looking for his first out here in the 4th inning against River City. Grant Fink and Jimmy Yezzo both in on the grass, while Jamadric Magruder and Austin Wobrock are at double play depth. Luke Wilkins looking in. Wilkins has his sign. He's set. And the 0-1. Merjano bunting again, and this time foul tips and doesn't get it down. The count goes to no balls and 2 strikes. 0-2 the count. Wild Things infielders moving back. Grant Fink still playing in on the grass. Jimmy Yezzo going back to his normal first base position. No balls, 2 strikes, nobody out. Wilkins looking in. Has his sign, he's set. And the 0-2 pitch. And this ball swung on and fouled away, so the count will remain 0-2. After 2 failed bunt attempts by Jason Merjano, he has to go swinging now with nobody out in the top of the 4th, and the River City leading 2-0. Tried for the sacrifice bunt, but was unsuccessful. Wilkins looks in. Has his sign, he's set. And the 0-2 pitch. That one's outside for a ball. 1 ball and 2 strikes. 1-2 the count here on Jason Merjano. Nobody out, top of the 4th. River City leading 2-0 over your Washington Wild Things. Wilkins looks in. Again, has his sign, he's set. And the 1 ball, 2 strike pitch. And this one swung on and missed. Merjano strikes out, and that is out number 1. 1 away from the Rascals here in the top of the 4th, and that brings up the right fielder, Robbie Enslin. Enslin so far 0 for 1 in Game 1 of this series. Enslin went 0 for 2, reached on an error and flew out in that one. 1 out, top of the 4th. Still runners at first and second for River City as 2 leadoff singles started this inning, and they remain there at first and second with Enslin at the plate. Wilkins looking in, has his sign, he's set, and the pitch. And Enslin takes this one on the inside corner for a strike, no balls and a strike. 0-1 the count on the River City right fielder. Wild Things will see these River City Rascals in 2 weeks, August 5th. Actually, 3 weeks, August 5th, 6th, and 7th. They'll be in River City. Wilkins has his sign, he's set, checks second, and the 0-1. That one's inside for a ball, 1 ball, 1 strike. 1-1 the count, and while the Wild Things are in River City, you can go down to Waynesburg University, see their production of The Curious Savage, August 5th and 6th at 7:30 p.m. Go down to Waynesburg University, just about 20 minutes south of Washington, and see a great production put on by theater director Edward Powers. Wilkins has his sign, the 1-1, and that one swung on and missed, 1 ball and 2 strikes. 1-2 the count here on Robbie Enslin, 1 out top of the 4th. Wilkins trying to work out of a jam here at Consol Energy Park. You're listening to the MSA Sports Network's coverage of Washington Wild Things baseball. Still a pretty good crowd. Most of the people have stayed through this second game. Wilkins has his sign. He's set. Checks second and the 1-2 pitch. Taking off for third is Freeman as this one's fouled back to the screen, and the count will remain 1-2. Freeman having to go back to second. It's the second time we've seen Freeman take off in this inning. He took off when he was at first base before Braxton Martinez singled, and now taking off here on the 1-2 pitch to Robbie Enslin. 1 ball, 2 strikes, 1 man out. Wilkins looking into Kyle Pollock. Has his sign, he's set. Checks second base, and the 1-2 pitch. And this one swung on and missed. Luke Wilkins strikes him out, and that is the second out here in the top of the 4th. Runners still at first and second, and that'll break the center fielder, Alexi Colon. Colon so far in this one, 1 for 1, doubled in the first, and walked and scored a run in inning number 3. So far, so good for Wilkins after allowing the 2 singles to lead off the inning. Now just has to work the way he does and try to get out of this inning. As long as he can get a ball to a fielder, it'll do and keep the River City Rascals off the board. Colon stepping in. Wilkins looks in. Has his sign. He's set. And the pitch. And Colon takes this one low for a ball. 1 ball, no strikes. 1-0 the count here on the center fielder for River City. Luke Wilkins having to labor here in the 4th inning. Lots of pitches here in this inning. Wilkins has his sign. He's set. Checks second and the 1-0. And this one swung on a miss. Count goes even at 1 ball and 1 strike. 1-1 the count. 2 men out top of the 4th. Luke Wilkins, is making his 3rd start against River City. He's faced them 2 other times in his career. Wilkins has his sign. He's set. Checks second in the 1-1. And Colon swings and misses at that one. 1 ball and 2 strikes. Wilkins trying to strike out the side now after allowing 2 hits to lead off the inning. He has 4 strikeouts on the day through 3 2/3 innings of work. Wilkins looking in. Has his sign. He's set. And the 1 ball, 2 strike pitch. And that one's way inside for a ball. Count goes even at 2-2. 2 balls and 2 strikes. Wilkins having problems today finishing at bats. He's been able to get to the 2 strike count, but he hasn't quite had that punch him out pitch to this point. 2 balls, 2 strikes. Wilkins looking in. Has his sign. He's set. And the 2-2. Taking off for third is Freeman. This pitch hitting to left center field and deep. Back goes Heck to the wall, and this ball is off the wall. Coming in to score is Freeman. Now rounding third and scoring is Martinez, and getting into third with a 2 RBI triple is Alexi Colon. River City now leading this one 4-0 over your Washington Wild Things. A 2 RBI triple. Both Freeman and Martinez score as River City opens things up here in the top of the 4th. 4-0 River City with 2 outs, and that'll bring up the catcher Josh Ludy. Ludy so far 0 for 2. Runner at third, 2 outs for River City after the 2 RBI triple by Colon. The pitch, and this one ground to the right side. That's a base hit. Colon will score, and it's now 5-0 River City. RBI single by Josh Ludy for Ludy. That is RBI number 22 on the year. And it's now 5-0 River City here in the top of the 4th. That'll bring to the plate Josh Silver, the shortstop. Silver so far on the day is 0 for 2, grounded out and reached on an error to this point. And that'll prompt action in the Washington Wild Things bullpen. And here's the pitch, and that one's low for a ball. 1 ball, no strikes. 1-0 the count here on Josh Silver, as Luke Wilkins running into some trouble here in the 4th inning. He's given up 3 runs already, all 3 with 2 outs. Looked like he was going to be in good shape as he allowed 2 singles to start the inning, then got 2 strikeouts, but then a 2 RBI triple by Alexi Colon and an RBI single by Josh Ludy. Here's the pitch, and that one's outside as well. 2 balls and no strikes. Andrew Wick starting to throw out in the Wild Things bullpen. 2-0, 2 men out. Meanwhile, Joe Pavlovich on the other side still has not allowed a hit through 3 innings to your Washington Wild Things. Wilkins looking in, has his sign, he's set, and the 2-0. And this one line, base hit into right field. 3 straight hits here off of Luke Wilkins with 2 outs, has runners at first and second now with 2 men out. And that will bring to the plate the left fielder, Kyle Goodell. Goodell so far 1 for 2, flew out in the first and singled in inning number 3. 5-0 River City leads with 2 outs here in the top of the 4th. 3 runs in already in the inning on an RBI triple by Alexi and an RBI single by Josh Ludy, scoring Clint Freeman and Braxton Martinez, and also scoring Alexi Colon on Ludy's RBI single. As Goodell's stepping in now, Andrew Wick still warming out in that bullpen. And you got to think this will probably be the last batter for Luke Wilkins if he allows another hit. Wilkins looking in. Has his sign, he's set, and the pitch. And that one's low for a ball, 1 ball, no strikes. 1-0 the count. These last 2 innings, Wilkins just really hasn't been able to find the zone. Had a very good first inning, only threw 9 pitches and faced 4 batters, but these last 2 have not been good for Wilkins. The next pitch is popped up to second base. Jamadric Magruder going at the shallow right now, and he'll make the catch for out number 3. But the River City Rascals get 3 runs in the inning, on 5 hits, no errors, and 2 men left on base. After 3.5, the score, River City 5, your Washington Wild Things nothing. You're listening to Washington Wild Things Baseball right here on the MSA Sports Network.
Hi, this is Hines Ward. If you're a high school sports fan, the place to go all year round is the MSA Sports Network. Log on every day to www.msasports.net for the schedules, the scores, the standings, the rankings, and of course, all of the broadcasts includes exclusive Whitfield playoffs and championship action. Anytime, anywhere, always there, the MSA Sports Network.
We're back here on the MSA Sports Network's coverage of Washington Wild Things baseball, going to the bottom of the 4th, and the score, River City 5, and your Washington Wild Things nothing. Last inning, the Wild Things went 1-2-3. Kyle Pollock popped out, Austin Woldrock grounded out, and Jamadric Magruder popped out to end the inning. Up here in the 4th, Ricky Rodriguez, Chris Grayson, and Dave Popkins, as the Wild Things still looking for their first hit against starting pitcher Joe Pavlovich. Pavlovich has only allowed 1 base runner to this point, a walk to Dave Popkins in the 2nd inning. So far, so good for Pavlovich. Last time out for Pavlovich was, against Southern Illinois on July the 10th, a relief appearance. Went 1 inning in that one. A perfect inning, no hits, no runs, no earned, no walks, no strikeouts in a no decision. Does have, 3 other starts on the season. And for Pavlovich, as we were looking earlier, his last start came back against Evansville, and that start was on June the 18th. Went 4 1/3 in that one, gave him 3 runs, 2 earned on 4 hits, 1 walk, and 3 strikeouts. So struggled in his last start. So far, so good here tonight in his 4th start of the season. Ricky Rodriguez making his way to the plate to lead things off here in the bottom of the 4th. Rodriguez so far 0 for 1. He struck out in his first at-bat, and Rodriguez in game 1 of this doubleheader went 1 for 3 with a single, also struck out and grounded out in that game. Trying to get the first hit here for the Wild Things in this one here in the bottom of the 4th. Pavlovich has his sign, here's the pitch, and Rodriguez takes this one for a strike on the outside corner, no balls and a strike. 0-1 the count on the Wild Things designated hitter. Was at third base for the first game of this doubleheader. Pavlovich set, here's the 0-1. And Rodriguez grounded to third, handled over there by Martinez. He throws on to first, and it's in time for out number 1. 1 up, 1 down for the Wild Things here in the bottom of the 4th, and that brings up the center fielder, Chris Grayson. Grayson so far 0 for 1 with a ground out. In game 1, Grayson ended up going 1 for 3, singled, reached on a fielder's choice, grounded out, and stole 2 bases in the contest, tying him for the team lead in steals with Austin Wobrock. One out, bottom of the fourth. Andrew Wick up in the Wild Things bullpen once again, so he will more than likely pitch in the 5th inning for your Wild Things. Pavlovich looking in, has his sign. He's set. Here's the pitch. And Grayson takes this one in the outside corner for a strike. No balls and a strike. 0-1 the count here on Chris Grayson out there in center field for the Wild Things. Pavlovich has his sign. He's set. And the 0-1. And Grayson breaks his bat as he pops this one up to second base. Getting it is Clint Freeman. And that is out number 2. Watch out over there as that bat exploded towards the bat boy. Bat boy hit the deck for dear life. So did Dave Popkins. Nobody's hurt, and there's 2 outs. Dave Popkins coming to the plate. Popkins, no official at-bat yet as he walked. He was 0 for 3 in Game 1, flying out in all 3 at-bats. 2 outs, bottom of the 4th. Joe Pavlovich is cruising here. Still have given up no hits through 3 2/3 innings. Pavlovich has his sign, the pitch, and Popkins takes this one inside for a ball. 1 ball. 1-0 the count on the Wild Things right fielder. 2 men out, bottom of the 4th. 5-0. The River City Rascals leading over your Wild Things. Pavlovich has his sign, the 1-0. And that one's on the outside corner for a strike. And the count goes to 1 ball and 1 strike. 1-1 the count here on Dave Popkins. 2 men out, bottom of the 4th. Pavlovich has his sign. He's set. And the 1-1. And Popkins a swing and a miss on that one. 1 ball and 2 strikes. 1-2, 2 men out, bottom of the 4th, 5-0 River City leading over your Washington Wild Things. Game 2 of this doubleheader. Wild Things won Game 1 by the score of 2-0. Pavlovich has his sign. Here's the 1-2. And that one's inside for a ball. Count goes even at 2-2. 2 balls, 2 strikes, and 2 men out here as Grayson and Rodriguez got out to start this inning. Pavlovich looks in, has his sign, and the 2 ball, 2 strike pitch. And that one is just high and outside for a ball. Count goes full 3-2. 3 balls, 2 strikes. Andrew Heck, the on-deck batter for the Washington Wild Things. 2 outs, bottom of the 4th. Popkins trying to get the first hit for the Wild Things. Pavlovich has his sign, the 3-2. And this ball hit in the left field. Going over to foul territory now, Martinez, and he'll make the catch for out number 3. 1-2-3 go the Wild Things here in the 4th. And after 4 innings of play, the score, River City 5, your Washington Wild Things nothing. You're listening to Washington Wild Things baseball right here on the MSA Sports Network.
Enjoy shopping and dining at one of Ohio Valley Mall's 100 merchants, including Boscov's, MC Sports, Hibbett Sports, Pat Catan's, Christopher & Banks, Men's Warehouse, and many more. Check out the new Buckle Store. And coming soon, Buffalo Wild Wings. If the little ones need a break, head to the Kids Zone, sponsored by Ohio Valley Medical Center and East Ohio Regional Hospital, your community hospitals.
PA Leadership Charter School is a proud sponsor of the Washington Wild Things. PALCS is a tuition-free online public school for K-12 students. PALCS can help your child hit a home run in their education through flexibility, student-to-teacher interaction, and socialization opportunities. Go to PALCS.org for more information. Go Wild Things!
PA Leadership Charter School. Lead, don't follow.
We're back here on the MSA Sports Network's coverage of Washington Wild Things baseball, going to the top of the 5th, and the score, River City 5, and your Washington Wild Things nothing. Pitching change for the Wild Things is now coming on is Andrew Wick. Wick appearing in his 19th game, has a record of 2-0, 2 saves on the season. His appearing in his 19th game has thrown 22 innings of work, giving up 17 hits, 13 runs, 10 earned on 8 walks, and 19 strikeouts on the season. Final line for Luke Wilkins. Wilkins went 4, gave up 5 runs, 4 earned on 8 hits, 2 walks, and 4 strikeouts. So Andrew Wick now on the mound. Up to greet him here in the 5th will be Will Martin, Clint Freeman, and Braxton Martinez. Last inning, 3 runs coming in for the River City Rascals as Clint Freeman and Braxton Martinez started the inning off with a single. Then Jason Merjano and Robbie Enslin struck out. Alexi Colon then came up with 2 outs, runners at first and second, and came through with a 2 RBI triple, scoring both Freeman and Martinez. That made the score 4-0 Rascals. Josh Ludy followed that up with an RBI single of his own. That made the score 5-0. Then Josh Silver singled, and Kyle Goodell popped out to end the inning. Will Martin making his way to the plate to lead things off here against Andrew Wick in the top of the 5th. Martin so far 0 for 1, walked and scored a run in the second, and struck out in inning number 3. Andrew Wick in. Wick 19 strikeouts in 22 innings of work, so a very good strikeout rate for Andrew Wick early on in the season. Wick looking in, has his sign, he's set, and the pitch. And this ball fouled off to the right, no balls and a strike. 0-1 the count. Andrew Wick, hard-throwing right-hander, has his fastball top out at 92-93, which is fast, which is pretty good here in the Frontier League. Wick looking into Kyle Pollock. Has his sign, he's set. And the no-ball, 1-strike pitch. And Martin takes this one for a strike as well, 0-2. No balls, 2 strikes here on Will Martin. Martin's walked and struck out so far. Andrew Wick looking for a clean outing out of the bullpen. His ERA sitting at 4.09, trying to lower that a little bit. Wick looking in. Has his sign, he's set. And the 0-2 pitch. That one's way outside for a ball. 1 ball and 2 strikes. 1-2, Martin able to lay off. That one was way outside. Pollock had to dive all the way to the right-handed batter's box to make that play. 1 ball, 2 strikes. Wick looking in. Nobody out, top of the 5th. Wick has his sign. He's set. And the 1 ball, 2 strike pitch. And this ball popped up foul. It'll go back into the seats, and the count will remain 1-2. Will Martin battling Andrew Wick here. First man Wick seen out of the bullpen. We said Luke Wilkins, 4 innings in this one. Not very good. 5 runs, 4 earned on 8 hits. Meanwhile, Joe Pavlovich, the opposing starter, has not given up a hit through 4 innings of work. Wick has his sign. He's set. And the 1-2. This one grounded to third. Handled over there by Grant Fink. Spins, throw, and he got him. An impressive play there by Grant Fink. Had to backhand that, spun, was throwing off balance, and threw a strike to Jimmy Yezzo. Nice play by Grant Fink. 1 out, top of the 5th, and that brings up the first baseman, Clint Freeman. Freeman so far 1 for 2, flew out in the second, singled and scored a run in inning number 5. 5-0 River City leading here in the top of the 5th. Freeman to the plate. He's been at first base in both games of this doubleheader. Andrew Wick looking in, has his sign, he's set, and the pitch. And this one swung on and foul, tipped by Freeman, no balls and a strike. 0-1 the count. Andrew Wick attacking the strike zone early on. Only ball was the one way outside. He tried to get Will Martin to chase before getting him to ground out. No balls, 1 strike, 1 man out here on Clint Freeman. Andrew Wick looking in. Wick has his sign, he's set. And the 0-1. And Freeman takes this one outside for a ball. 1 ball, 1 strike. 1-1 the count, 1 man out. Andrew Wick, the right-handed batter, facing off against Clint Freeman, the left-handed hitter. Wick has his sign, he's set, and the 1-1. And this ball lined down the left field line, and that'll get down, a fair ball. Around first, heading to second is Freeman. It'll be fielded by Heck, and Freeman will be in there with a 1-out double. There'll be a runner at second for the River City Rascals with 1 man out. That'll bring up the third baseman, Braxton Martinez. Martinez so far 1 for 2, struck out in the second, singled and scored a run in the 4th. This 5th inning was the first inning that the leadoff man did not reach base for River City. They had done that in the first 4 innings as Wick got the ground out from Will Martin, but then gave up the 1-out double, and Clint Freeman now standing at second base, and at the plate, Braxton Martinez. Andrew Wick looking in, has his sign, checks Freeman at second, and the pitch. And this one's on the outside corner for a strike, no balls and a strike. 0-1 the count here on Braxton Martinez. Martinez newly inserted into this game. Did not play in game 1 of the doubleheader. Started here in game 2. Wick has his sign, the 0-1. And that one's a check swing in the dirt, blocked by Kyle Pollock, and the count goes even at 1-1. 1 ball, 1 strike, 1 man out, top of the 5th, 5-0 River City leading over your Washington Wild Things. Andrew Wick in to relieve Luke Wilkins. Wilkins only goes 4 in this one, gives up 5 runs, 4 earned. Wick looking in, has his sign, he's set, checks second, and the 1-1. And that one's in there for a strike as well, 1 ball and 2 strikes. 1-2 the count here on Braxton Martinez. River City 5 runs, 3 of which came last inning in the top of the 4th. Wick looking in, has his sign, he's set, checks second, and the 1-2 pitch. And that one swung on and missed, and Braxton Martinez strikes out for out number 2 here in the top of the 5th. That'll bring up the second baseman, Jason Merjano. Merjano so far 1 for 2, RBI triple in the second, and struck out in inning number 4. 2 outs top of the 5th, 5-0 River City Rascals lead. Game 2 of this doubleheader. Remember, we only played 7 innings in the doubleheader. Wild Things winning game 1 by the score of 2-0. Andrew Wick has his sign. He's set, checks second, and the pitch. And that one's low for a ball below the knees. 1 ball and no strikes. 1-0 the count on Jason Merjano. 2 outs, top of the 5th. Runner at second is Clint Freeman. He reached there with 1 out. Wick looking in, has his sign, he's set, and the 1-0 pitch. And this one grounded towards second. Jamadrick Magruder has it. He'll throw on to first, and that's in time for out number 3. No runs in the inning on 1 hit, no errors, and 1 man left on base. After 4.5 the score, the River City Rascals 5 and your Washington Wild Things nothing. Right now, we'll take you down to the field for the 5th inning stretch. You're listening to Washington Wild Things baseball right here on the MSA Sports Network.
You just never know how your day is going to go. The same holds true at Penn Station East Coast Subs. For some unsuspecting spuds, they start their day as Idaho potatoes, only to be transformed into hand-hewn fries. Unlucky for them, good for you. However, both your days get better because the fries get a sidle up next to a perfectly grilled Philly cheesesteak. Then, you just never know how your day is going to go. The same holds true at Penn Station East Coast Subs. For some unsuspecting spuds, they start their day as Idaho potatoes, only to be transformed into hand-hewn fries. Unlucky for them, good for you. However, both your days get better because the fries get a sidle up next to a perfectly grilled Philly cheesesteak. Then, on their way to their final resting place, they get bathed in citric nectar, our signature lemonade. Wherever your day takes you, we recommend Penn Station be one of the stops.
We're back here on the MSA Sports Network's coverage of Washington Wild Things baseball, going to the bottom of the 5th, and the score, River City 5 and your Washington Wild Things nothing. Making his way to the plate to lead things off here in the 5th, Andrew Heck. Heck so far 0 for 1, did not play in game 1 of this series. Pavlovich set, here's the pitch, and that one's in there for a strike at the knees, no balls and a strike. 0-1 the count. Wild Things still looking for their first hit of the game here in the bottom of the 5th. Pavlovich has his sign. He's set in the 0-1. And that one's in there as well in the inside corner. No balls and 2 strikes. 0-2 the count here on Andrew Heck. Nobody out, bottom of the 5th. Pavlovich has retired 9 straight Wild Things. His only base runner allowed has been a walk so far in the 2nd. Here's the 0-2 pitch. And this one lined into right field, a base hit. The first hit of the day for your Washington Wild Things. A leadoff single for Andrew Heck here in the bottom of the 5th. And the Wild Things have a runner on with nobody out. That'll bring up the third baseman, Grant Fink. Fink so far 0 for 1. Fink was out in left field for game 1 of this doubleheader and went 1 for 2 with a solo home run. His 5th home run of the year also flew out in that one. Nobody out, bottom of the 5th. 5-0 River City leading over your Washington Wild Things. There is action in the Wild Things bullpen. Devin Davis warming up out there. Pavlovich has his sign. He's set. And the pitch. And that one's high at the letters for a strike. No balls and a strike. 0-1 the count here on Grant Fink. Fink back into the infield here for game 2 of this doubleheader. Fink a natural infielder, learning outfield this season. Pavlovich has his sign and the 0-1. And ground ball to third, handled there by Martinez. On to second for one, to first, and it is in time for the double play. 5-4-3. That erases the leadoff base runner. Now nobody out, or 2 outs and nobody on, and that'll bring the first baseman, Jimmy Yezzo. Yezzo so far 0 for 1, grounded out in his first at-bat. In game 1, Yezzo would end up going 0 for 1, walked and struck out in that one. 2 outs, bottom of the 5th, 5-0 River City leading this one. Pavlovich set, here's the pitch. And Yezzo takes this one outside for a ball, 1 ball, no strikes. 1-0 the count on Jimmy Yezzo. Yezzo at first base here for game 2, was the designated hitter in game 1 of this doubleheader. Pavlovich set in the 1-0. And that one's a called strike on the outside corner. 1 ball, 1 strike. 1-1 the count on Jimmy Yezzo. 2 men out, bottom of the 5th. 5-0 River City leading. Pavlovich has his sign. He's set and the 1-1. And Yezzo a swing and a foul ball. The count will go to 1 ball and 2 strikes. Pavlovich had to drop that one out of his glove. And the count 1 ball and 2 strikes. 1-2 here on Jimmy Yezzo. 2 men out in the bottom of the 5th. Wild Things trying to get on the board here. They collected their first hit in this inning as Andrew Heck had a leadoff single. Here's the 1-2, and that one's inside for a ball. Count goes even at 2-2. 2 balls and 2 strikes. 1 strikeout on the day for Joe Pavlovich, also 1 walk. Pavlovich looks in, has his sign, he's set, and the 2-2. And this ball lined foul back into the seats. Count remains 2 balls and 2 strikes. 2-2 the count, 2 men out, bottom of the 5th. Jimmy Yezzo at the plate. Yezzo the left-handed batter facing Pavlovich, the right-handed pitcher. Pavlovich has his sign, he's set, and the 2-2. And this ball fouled away. Count will remain 2 balls and 2 strikes. 2-2 the count here on Jimmy Yezzo. 2 outs, bottom of the 5th. Game 2 of this doubleheader. Wild Things took game 1 by the score of 2-0. River City now leading 5-0 here in game 2. Pavlovich has his sign, but he'll step off and wants to go through the signs again. Count remains 2 balls and 2 strikes. 2 men out, bottom of the 5th. Pavlovich has his sign and the 2-2. And this ball fouled away by Yezzo, so he stays alive, and the count remains 2 balls and 2 strikes. 8th pitch of the at-bat coming up here to Jimmy Yezzo. You're here at Consol Energy Park. You're listening to the MSA Sports Network's coverage of Washington Wild Things baseball. Game 2 of this doubleheader between your Wild Things and the River City Rascals. Here's the 2-2 from Pavlovich, and this ball popped up on the infield. Martinez camping under it around third base, and he will make the catch for out number 3. No runs in the inning on 1 hit, no errors, and nobody left on base. After 5 innings of play, the score, River City 5, your Washington Wild Things nothing. You're listening to Washington Wild Things baseball right here on the MSA Sports Network.
When looking to replace your athletic field, choose ProGrass, first in turf. ProGrass has installed over 500 fields in the U.S. Getting the best artificial turf for your field depends upon both the product and the partner you choose. That's why architects, athletic directors, and players choose the ProGrass Performance System. ProGrass maintains an active presence in the field turf industry as members of the Sports Turf Management Association and the American Sports Builder Association, and is proud to be recognized as a FIFA preferred manufacturer. Call ProGrass today at 866-270-6003 or visit them on the web at www.progressturf.com. ProGrass, first in turf.
Your Wild Things are back and are chasing a playoff spot here in the second half as their homestand continues July 20th and 21st when the Wild Things welcome in the River City Rascals. The series gets started on Wednesday night, July 20th at 6:05, first pitch in the form of a doubleheader. It's a bucket hat night For $15, you can get a reserve seat ticket and a bucket hat. Game 2 of the series will start about a half hour following the conclusion of Game 1. Then the series continues July 21st at 7:05 p.m. for Thirsty Thursday, when the Wild Things wrap up their 3-game series with the Rascals. All beer and soda will be just $1 on Thursday. Come out to Consol Energy Park and support your Frontier League Week 9 Player of the Week, Logan Uxa, and the rest of the Washington Wild Things. For tickets, call 866-456-WILD or go to www.washingtonwildthings.com. Washington Wild Things Baseball, let's get wild. We're back here on the MSA Sports Network's coverage of Washington Wild Things Baseball, going to the top of the 6th, and the score, the River City Rascals 5 and your Washington Wild Things nothing. New pitcher for the Wild Things is coming on now is Devin Davis. Davis has a record of 1-1, 2 saves on the season, appearing in 21 games, a .288 ERA. He's thrown 25 innings of work, giving up 8 runs, all earned, on 23 hits, 9 walks, and 29 strikeouts. The pitch, and this one's fouled off, no balls and a strike. 0-1 the count here on Robbie Enslin. Enslin, the first man to face Davis out of the bullpen. Wick goes a scoreless inning, striking out 1 today. Here's the 0-1, and that one swung on a miss. No balls and 2 strikes. 0-2 the count here on Robbie Enslin. Davis, a very high strikeout rate, 25 innings of work and 29 strikeouts. Those 29 strikeouts have him good for 4th on this Wild Things team. Davis has his sign, the 0-2. Checks his swing. Did he go around? No, says Joe Sapphire out there on the bases, and the count goes to 1-2. 1 ball, 2 strikes, nobody out. Davis has his sign, he's set. The 1-2 pitch. And swing and a miss. Davis strikes him out. That's out number 1 here in the top of the 6th. That'll bring up the center fielder, Alexi Colon. Colon so far, 2 for 2. Doubled in the first, walked and scored a run in the third, and at a 2 RBI triple in inning number 4. Top of the 6th, 5-0 River City Rascals lead. Devin Davis in a relief role here. This one, Davis has his sign, he's set. Here's the pitch. And that one's high for a ball. 1 ball, no strikes. 1-0 the count. Starter in this one, Luke Wilkins, only went 4 innings. He gave up 5 runs, 4 earned. The 1-0. And this one grounded to the right side. Charging is Yezo. He'll handle it. Flips to Davis covering. And it's in time for out number 2. 2 up, 2 down here in the top of the 6th. And that'll bring up the catcher, Josh Ludy. Ludy so far 1 for 3. Grounded out in the first. Grounded out in the second. And hit an RBI single in inning number 4. Quickly 2 outs for Devin Davis here in the 6th inning. As Ludy coming to the plate. We said earlier, Ludy also the hitting coach for the River City Rascals. And River City, a very good hitting team this season. Their team leader has a .463 average, 317, 316, 303 running down the top 4. So Ludy doing a nice job as the hitting coach and also doing a pretty nice job at the plate himself, hitting .294 coming today. Takes the first pitch for a strike, no balls and a strike. Here's Davis's 0-1, and that one's in the dirt for a ball. 1 ball, 1 strike. 1-1 the count here on Josh Ludy. 2 men out, top of the 6th. Devin Davis looking into Kyle Pollock. Davis has his sign, he's set. And the 1-1. And that one's low for a ball. Count goes to 2 balls and a strike. 2-1 the count on Josh Ludy. Davis, left-handed pitcher, facing Ludy, the right-handed batter. Ludy stepping in with 2 outs in the top of the 6th. Davis has his sign, he's set. And the 2-1. And this one hit towards right field. Dave Popkins coming in, and he will make the catch for out number 3. 1-2-3 go the River City Rascals here in the 6th. And after 5.5, the score, River City 5, your Washington Wild Things nothing. You're listening to Washington Wild Things baseball here on the MSA Sports Network.
AAA members enjoy 24/7 roadside assistance, exclusive member-only discounts, expert travel assistance, free identity theft protection, and much more. With that AAA card in your wallet or purse, you have the peace of mind, safety, and security that only AAA membership can provide. Already a member? Don't forget to renew. Not a member? Join AAA today at any nearby office or online at AAA.com. AAA, we're always with you.
How does a 120-year-old company like Henderson Brothers keep up in a world that changes every minute, that keeps throwing curveballs, that flaunts new technology, that demands responsiveness? The answer is simple. With expertise. We insure the most successful corporations in the area, and they in turn recommend us. And for that, we're grateful. Henderson Brothers. Expect an expert.
We're back here on the MSA Sports Network's coverage of Washington Wild Things baseball, currently in the bottom of the 6th, and the score, River City 5, and your Washington Wild Things nothing. Joe Pavlovich just 1 hit allowed through 5 innings of work against your Washington Wild Things so far. He's been very good, just like Matt Frauden was good in Game 1 of this doubleheader. Now, Pavlovich has never faced the Washington Wild Things. It's his first career start. He's not faced the Wild Things as a reliever or as a starter
How does a 120
in his career. So Pavlovich making his first start against the Wild Things here this evening. Nobody out, bottom of the 6th. 5-0 River City leading over your Wild Things. Due up against Pavlovich here in the 6th, Kyle Pollock, Austin Wobrock, and Jamadric Magruder, 8, 9, and 1, facing off against Pavlovich. Kyle Pollock making his way to the plate to lead things off. Pollock so far on the day, 0 for 1, popped out in inning number 3. Pollock in Game 1 was 1 for 2, doubled and struck out. Pavlovich in there for his 6th inning of work. He's set. Here's the pitch. And Pollock swing and a miss. No balls and a strike. 0-1 the count here on Kyle Pollock. Pollock leading things off in the bottom of the 6th. Pavlovich has his sign. He's set. Here's the 0-1. And that one swung on and missed. No balls and 2 strikes. So quickly Pollock behind 0-2. Here to Joe Pavlovich. Pavlovich so far so good against the Wild Things. Pavlovich has his sign. He's set. And the 0-2 pitch. And now time is called behind the plate as Pollock wanted time to step back in and gather his thoughts. No balls, 2 strikes. Nobody out here in the bottom of the 6th. Pavlovich is 0-2. And this one swung on and missed. Pollock strikes out. And that is the first out here in the bottom of the 6th. 1 up, 1 down for the Wild Things. And that brings up the shortstop, Austin Wobrock. Wobrock so far 0 for 1, grounded out in his first at-bat in the 3rd inning. Game 1, he went 1 for 2 with an RBI double. Also flew out in that contest. 1 man out, bottom of the 6th. Austin Wobrock at the plate. Pavlovich has his sign. He's set. Here's the pitch. And that one's inside for a ball. 1 ball, no strikes. 1-0 the count here on Austin Wobrock, the number 9 hitter in the Wild Things order, trying to get something started for the Wild Things. Pavlovich set. Here's the 1-0. And this ball hit the center field. Alexi Colon drifting over into left center now, and he'll camp under it to make the catch for out number 2. 2 up, 2 down for your Wild Things here in the bottom of the 6th, and that brings up the second baseman, Jamadric Magruder. Magruder so far 0 for 2 on the day. Flew out in the 1st, popped out in the 3rd. Zach Groats warming up in the Wild Things bullpen. Will most likely come in to pitch the 9th. Pavlovich looks in. 2 outs, bottom of the 6th. Only 1 hit given up by Pavlovich today. Has his sign. Here's the pitch. And Magruder takes this one outside for a ball. 1 ball, no strikes. 1-0 the count on Jamadric Magruder. Magruder is playing in his 7th game as a Wild Thing. Here's Pavlovich's 1-0, and that one's high for a ball. 2 balls and no strikes. 2-0 the count on Jamadric Magruder. 2 outs, bottom of the 6th. 5-0. The River City Rascals leading over your Washington Wild Things. Pavlovich looks in, has his sign, the 2-0. And that one's in there at the letters for a strike. 2 balls and a strike. 2-1 the count. 2 men out, bottom of the 6th. 5-0 River City leading over your Washington Wild Things here in Game 2 of this doubleheader. Wild Things winning Game 1 by the score of 2-0. Here's Pavlovich's pitch, and that one's fouled off towards the Wild Things dugout, and the count will go to 2 balls and 2 strikes. Count even at 2-2 here. 2 men out in the bottom of the 6th. Joe Pavlovich trying to get out of this 6th. Jamadric Magruder trying to get on base and create some 2-out magic. Pavlovich looks in, has his sign, he's set. Here's the 2-2. And Magruder takes this one high for ball 3. Count full, 3 balls and 2 strikes. 2 men out, bottom of the 6th. Joe Pavlovich's only hit allowed so far in this one is a single by Andrew Heck. Pavlovich has his sign, he's set. Here's the 3-2. And that one's outside, ball 4. 2-out walk gives the Wild Things a base runner as Jamadric Magruder reaches base, and that brings up the designated hitter, Ricky Rodriguez. Rodriguez so far 0 for 2, struck out looking in the first and grounded out in inning number 4. 2 outs, bottom of the 6th. Magruder on first, and River City leading 5-0 right now over your Washington Wild Things. Ricky Rodriguez at the plate. Magruder takes his lead from first. Pavlovich looks in. Has his sign, he's set, and the pitch on the way. And Rodriguez takes this one outside for a ball. 1 ball, no strikes. 1-0 the count here on Ricky Rodriguez. 2 outs, bottom of the 6th. Pavlovich running into a little bit of control issues here in this bottom of the 6th inning. Pavlovich looks in, has his sign, he's set, and the 1 ball, no strike pitch. And Rodriguez fouls this one off. Count goes even at 1-1. 1 ball, 1 strike, and 2 men out. 5 runs, 9 hits for River City. No runs, 1 hit, and an error for your Washington Wild Things. Joe Pavlovich looking in to Josh Ludy. Ricky Rodriguez at the plate. Pavlovich has his sign. He's set, and the 1-1. And this one swung on and missed by Rodriguez. Count goes to 1 ball and 2 strikes. 1-2, 2 men out here in the bottom of the 6th. Pavlovich only 1 strikeout on the, or 2 strikeouts on the day, excuse me. Ricky Rodriguez and Kyle Pollock, his 2 victims. Pavlovich has his sign. Here's the 1-2, and that one's in the dirt. Count stays even at 2 balls and 2 strikes, smothered there by Josh Ludy. 2 balls, 2 strikes, 2 men out, bottom of the 6th. Ricky Rodriguez at the plate. There's at first and second for the Wild Things. Both men reach there via the walk. And there is action now in the River City bullpen. Pavlovich looks in. Has his sign from Ludy. He's set. Checks Magruder at second. And the pitch to Grayson. Grayson takes outside and low for a ball. 1 ball, no strikes. 1-0 the count on the Wild Things center fielder. Grayson did have a hit in game 1. As he went 1 for 3. Reached base twice in that. Pavlovich looks in. Has his sign. He's set. Checks second. And the 1-0. And Grayson takes this one low for a ball as well. Pavlovich now falling behind. 2 balls and no strikes. 2-0 the count. Chris Grayson. Wild Things trying to get something started with 2 outs. They're down by 5. Magruder standing at second. Ricky Rodriguez at first. Pavlovich looks in. Has his sign. He's set. And now he'll step off as they want to go through the signs again. 2 balls, no strikes. 2 men out. Bottom of the 6th. Wild Things trying to mount a comeback. Pavlovich has his sign. He's set. The 2-0. And that one's in there this time for a strike on the inside corner. 2 balls and a strike. 2-1 the count on Chris Grayson. 2 men out here in the bottom of inning number 6. Pavlovich, the right-handed pitcher, facing off against Chris Grayson, the left-handed batter. Pavlovich looking in. Has his sign. He's set. And the 2-1. And Grayson takes this one low, ball 3. So Pavlovich now in danger of loading the bases here with 2 men out. 3 balls, 1 strike, bottom of the 6th, 5-0 River City leading over your Washington Wild Things. Pavlovich looks in. Has his sign, he's set. Checks second, and the 3-1. And this ball popped up on the infield, coming in as Silver, and he will make the catch for out number 3. No runs in the inning, no hits, no errors, and 2 men left on base after the 2 walks. After 6 innings of play, the score, River City 5, your Washington Wild Things nothing. You're listening to Washington Wild Things baseball right here on the MSA Sports Network.
Hi, this is Hines Ward. If you're a high school sports fan, the place to go all year round is the MSA Sports Network. Log on every day to www.msasports.net for the schedules, the scores, the standings, the rankings, and of course, all of the broadcasts includes exclusive Whitfield playoffs and championship action. Anytime, anywhere, always there, the MSA Sports Network.
Enjoy shopping and dining at one of Ohio Valley Mall's 100 merchants, including Boscov's, MC Sports, Hibbett Sports, Hat Catan's, Christopher & Banks, Men's Warehouse, and many more. Check out the new Buckle Store. And coming soon, Buffalo Wild Wings. If the little ones need a break, head to the Kids Zone, sponsored by Ohio Valley Medical Center and East Ohio Regional Hospital, your community hospitals.
We're back here on the MSA Sports Network's coverage of Washington Wild Things baseball, currently in the top of the 7th, and the score, River City 5, and your Washington Wild Things nothing. New pitcher for the Wild Things coming on, Zach Groats. Groats enters this one with a record of 0-2, has 9 saves on the season, a 1.40 ERA, appearing in his 22nd game, has thrown 25 2/3 innings of work, giving up 5 runs, 4 earned on 18 hits, 8 walks, and 31 strikeouts on the year for Groats. One of 4 All-Stars for your Washington Wild Things, making his tied for team lead 22nd appearance. Devin Davis made his 22nd appearance earlier tonight as well. Final line for Davis, he went an inning, did not give up a run on no hits, no walks, and 1 strikeout. Due up here in the 7th to face off against Groats, Josh Silver, Kyle Goodell, and Will Martin, 3, 4, and 5, facing off against Groats. Not a safe situation as River City leading 5-0 in this one. Groats just looking to get an inning of work in. Josh Silver makes his way to the plate to lead things off. Silver so far is 1 for 3, grounded out in the first, reached on an error in the third, and singled in inning number 4. Zach Groats now on the mound, all-star relief pitcher for the Wild Things. Facing off against Josh Silver. Silver was an affiliated ball signed by the Chicago Cubs, then released and re-picked up by the River City Rascals. Groats has his sign. He said, here's the pitch. And this one grounded to second. Jamadric Magruder handles it, throwing to first, and quickly out number 1 here in the top of the 7th. 1 pitch, 1 out for Groats here in the 7th, and that brings up the left fielder, Kyle Goodell. Goodell so far 1 for 3, flew out in the first, singled in the third, and popped out in inning number 4. 1 out, top of the 7th, 5-0 River City leading over your Washington Wild Things. Goodell coming to the plate. Goodell the cleanup hitter in both games. Groats has his sign, the pitch. And Goodell takes this one for a strike, no balls and a strike. 0-1 the count here on Kyle Goodell. Groats looking for a quick 7th inning, trying to get his team to the bat racks in the bottom of the 7th. The 0-1, and that one's inside for a ball. 1 ball, 1 strike. 1-1 the count on Kyle Goodell. 1 out, top of the 7th. Groats has his sign. Here's the 1-1. And Goodell fouls this one off back into the seats. Count goes to 1 ball and 2 strikes. 1-2, 1 man out, top of the 7th. 5-0 River City leads. Wild Things, if they want to win, will have to score 6 in the bottom of the 7th. Groats has his sign. He's set. Here's the 1-2. And Goodell takes outside for a ball. 2 balls and 2 strikes. 2-2 the count on Kyle Goodell. 1 out, top of the 7th. 5-0 River City leads over your Wild Things. Groats' 2-2 pitch. That one's way outside for a ball. Count goes full at 3-2. 3 balls, 2 strikes, and 1 man out. Zach Groats, the lowest ERA on the team with 1. Currently tied for 3rd in strikeouts with 31 with today's starter, Luke Wilkins. Wilkins picked up 4 strikeouts today. The 3-2, and this one lined to left field. That's a base hit. So a single for Kyle Goodell as a man on base for the River City Rascals with 1 out, and that'll bring up the designated hitter, Will Martin. Martin so far 0 for 2, walked and scored a run in the 2nd, struck out in the 3rd, and grounded out in inning number 5. 1 out here in the top of the 7th, and Martin coming to the plate. Groats allows the 1 out single after getting Josh Silver to ground out on just 1 pitch. Groats would love another ground ball here with a runner at first and 1 man out. Zach Groats looking into Kyle Pollock. Groats has his sign. He's set, checks first, and the pitch. And Martin a ground ball to first, and it'll get by Jimmy Yezzo into right field, a base hit. Goodell around 2nd, heading to 3rd, and he'll get in there. A 1 out single, back-to-back 1 out singles actually. Will Martin single following Kyle Goodell's single, and now there are runners at 1st and 3rd with 1 out, and that'll bring up the first baseman, Clint Freeman. Freeman so far 2 for 3, flew out in the 2nd, singled and scored in the 4th, and doubled in inning number 5. 1 out, 5-0 River City leading over your Washington Wild Things. Runners at 1st and 3rd. With 1 man out, Groats got the ground ball he wanted to. Unfortunately, Fortunately for him, it was in the gap between Jimmy Yezzo and Jamondrick Magruder. Yezzo did all he could to get the ball, but he could not. Groats has his sign, checks third in the pitch. And this one grounded foul off to the right, no balls and a strike. 0-1 the count, another ground ball by Groats. That's what he wants, but more preferably right to Wobrock. Let's go Wobrock to Magruder to Yezzo, end this inning. See if Groats can get it. No balls and a strike, one man out. Groats has his sign, or he's looking in right now, excuse me. Checks first, now has his sign. He's set, and the 0-1. And this ball hit towards left center field. Chris Grayson and Andrew Heck giving chase. Grayson will make the running catch in left center field. Meanwhile, Kyle Goodell will tag and score. So a sac fly for Clint Freeman. And the score now, River City 6 and your Washington Wild Things nothing. Sac fly RBI brings in Kyle Goodell. It's the second out of the inning, and that will bring up the third baseman, Braxton Martinez. Martinez so far 1 for 3, 2 strikeouts, a single, and a run scored to this point. A run in on the sacrifice fly by Clint Freeman. River City now leads 6-0. And Zach Groats now trying to get out of this inning. 2 outs, runner at first. Groats has his sign, he's set, and the pitch. And that one's in there for a strike, no balls and a strike. 0-1 the count on Braxton Martinez. Zach Groats trying to get out of this 7th inning, trying to get his team to the bat racks in the bottom of the 9th. Wild Things now need 7 to win. Groats has his sign, the 0-1, and this one grounded to short. Austin Wobrock has it, goes the short way to second, and it's in time for out number 3. 1 run comes in the inning on 2 hits, no errors, and a man left on base. After 6.5 the score, River City 6, your Washington Wild Things nothing. You're listening to Washington Wild Things baseball right here on the MSA Sports Network.
PA Leadership Charter School is a proud sponsor of the Washington Wild Things. PALCS is a tuition-free online public school for K-12 students. PALCS can help your child hit a home run in their education through flexibility, student-to-teacher interaction, and socialization opportunities. Go to PALCS.org for more information. Go Wild Things!
PA Leadership Charter School. Lead, don't follow.
We're back here in the bottom of inning number 7 in the score. River City 6 and your Washington Wild Things nothing. You're listening to Washington Wild Things baseball right here on the MSA Sports Network. Wild Things need 6 to tie, 7 to win here in the bottom of inning number 7. They threatened last inning against Joe Pavlovich. Pavlovich still out there looking for a complete game in this one as Kyle Pollock struck out and then Austin Wobrock flew out. Then 2 straight 2-out walks. Jamondrick Magruder and Ricky Rodriguez each reaching base before Chris Grayson popped out to end the inning. Due up here in the bottom of the 7th for the Wild Things, Dave Popkins, Andrew Heck, and Grant Fink, 4, 5, and 6, facing off against Pavlovich. Pavlovich's warm-up tosses are done, and Popkins making his way to the plate. Last chance for the Wild Things. It's now or never. 6 to tie, 7 to win, and Popkins making his way to the plate. Popkins so far 0 for 1, walked in the 2nd, and popped out in inning number 4. Popkins looking to get things started here in the bottom of the 7th. There is action in the bullpen just in case Pavlovich needs it. Pavlovich has his sign. He's set. Here's the pitch. And Popkins takes outside for a ball. 1 ball, no strikes. 1-0 the count. Pavlovich has started losing his control at the end of that 6th inning. Walked 2 men with 2 outs, but was able to get out of it. Here's the 1-0. And that one's way inside for a ball. 2 balls and no strikes. 2-0 the count here on Dave Popkins. Trying to get on base any way he can. Single, walk, it all works. Pavlovich has his sign. He's set. And the 2 ball, no strike pitch. And that one's outside for a ball, so Pavlovich falls behind the first man he faces here, 3-0. 3 balls, no strikes on Dave Popkins, switch hitter batting from the left-handed side against the right-handed pitcher Joe Pavlovich. Pavlovich looking in, has his sign, and the 3-0. And it's inside ball 4. A 4-pitch walk to start the bottom of the 7th. Has a runner on for the Wild Things and nobody out. And that'll bring in the left fielder Andrew Heck, but not before we will have a pitching change. Keep it tuned right here to the MSA Sports Network for more coverage of Washington Wild Things baseball.
You just never know how your day is going to go. The same holds true at Penn Station East Coast Subs. For some unsuspecting spuds, they start their day as Idaho potatoes, only to be transformed into hand-hewn fries. Unlucky for them, good for you. However, both your days get better because the fries get to sidle up next to a perfectly grilled Philly cheesesteak. Then, on their way to their final resting place, they get bathed in citric nectar, our signature lemonade. Wherever your day takes you, we recommend Penn Station be one of the stops.
When looking to replace your athletic field, choose ProGrass, first in turf. ProGrass is installed over 500 fields in the U.S. Getting the best artificial turf for your field depends upon both the product and the partner you choose. That's why architects, athletic directors, and players choose the ProGrass Performance System. ProGrass maintains an active presence in the field turf industry as members of the Sports Turf Management Association and the American Sports Builder Association, and is proud to be recognized as a FIFA preferred manufacturer. Call ProGrass today at 866-270-6003 or visit them on the web at www.progressturf.com. ProGrass, first in turf.
We're back here on the MSA Sports Network's coverage of Washington Wild Things baseball, currently in the bottom of the 7th, and the score, River City 6, and your Washington Wild Things, nothing. Pitching change for the River City Rascals as into the game is right-handed pitcher Nick Kennedy. Kennedy entering this one with a record of 2-3 at 2.73 ERA, has appeared in 25 games, thrown 23 innings of work, giving up 26 hits, 12 runs, 7 earned on 8 walks, and 13 strikeouts on the season. Final line for the starter tonight, Joe Pavlovich. Pavlovich goes 6+, giving up 1 hit. Still responsible for Dave Popkins at first, but no runs to this point. No earned on 3 walks and 2 strikeouts. So Nick Kennedy into the game for the River City Rascals. Rascals up by the score of 6-0. Wild Things in their last shot here in the bottom of the 7th, and Andrew Heck is coming to the plate. Heck so far 1 for 2, flew out and singled so far in this one. Popkins stands at first after the leadoff walk, and Heck coming in. Wild Things have to score 6 in this inning to tie, 7 to win. 6-0 River City leads. Nick Kennedy into the game. Kennedy looking in. Has his sign, he's set. Checks Popkins, and time is called behind the plate as the field umpire was not yet in his position, as now he is back in his position and we're ready to go. Nobody out. Runner at first for the Wild Things is Dave Popkins. Kennedy looks in. Has his sign, he's set. And the pitch. And that one's outside for a ball. 1 ball, no strikes. 1-0 the count on Andrew Heck. Heck out there in left field today for your Wild Things. Nick Kennedy, right-handed pitcher, facing Andrew Heck, the right-handed batter. Kennedy has his sign, he's set. And the 1-0. And this one grounded foul off to the left. Count goes to 1 ball and 1 strike. 1-1, nobody out, bottom of the 7th. 6 runs, 11 hits for River City. No runs, 1 hit, 1 error for your Washington Wild Things. Andrew Heck owns the lone hit of the day for your Wild Things. Kennedy looking in. Has his sign, he's set. And the 1 ball, 1 strike pitch. And Heck a ground ball to third, but this will go foul, and the count goes to 1-2. 1 ball, 2 strikes. Nick Kennedy has 13 strikeouts in 25 innings of work, so not a big strikeout guy. Also 8 walks in those 25 innings of work. Kennedy looks in. Has his sign, he's set. Checks first, and the 1 ball, 2 strike pitch. And this one fouled off back to the screen. Count remains 1-2. 1 ball, 2 strikes on the Pittsburgh native, Andrew Heck. Heck in his 4th year with the Washington Wild Things. A veteran on this team. Heck stands in there at 6'3", 206. Kennedy has his sign, he's set. And the 1 ball, 2 strike pitch. And this ball fouled off, so the count will remain 1-2. Andrew Heck battling Nick Kennedy at the plate. Game 2 of this doubleheader. Wild Things took game 1 by the score of 2-0. River City currently leading this one by the score of 6-0. 1 ball, 2 strikes, nobody out, bottom of the 7th. Nick Kennedy looking in. Kennedy has his sign, he's set. And the 1 ball, 2 strike pitch once more. And Heck hits this one to center field and deep. Cologne going back to the track, and he'll make the catch in front of the wall. That's out number 1 here in the bottom of the 7th. So Heck gave it a ride, but there's 1 out, and that'll bring up the third baseman, Grant Fink. Fink so far 0 for 2, flew out and hit into a double play to this point. 1 out, bottom of the 7th, 6-0. River City leading over your Washington Wild Things in this one. Grant Fink at the plate was in left field for game 1 of this doubleheader, out at third base for game 2. Kennedy looking in, has his sign, he's set, checks first, and the pitch. And a swing and a miss by Fink, no balls and a strike. 0-1 the count on the Wild Things third baseman. Dave Popkins stands at first, he walked to lead off the inning. 1 out, Popkins over there at first, Kennedy looks in. Has his sign, he's set, and the no ball, 1 strike pitch. And a swing and a miss by Fink, and the count goes to 0-2. No balls, 2 strikes, 1 man out, bottom of the 7th. 6 runs, 11 hits for the Rascals. No runs, 1 hit, 1 error for the Wild Things. Pavlovich looks in. Has his sign, he's set. And the 0-2. And that one swung and foul tipped. Ludi can't hold on to it behind the plate. So the count will remain 0-2. No balls, 2 strikes, 1 man out. Runner at first is Dave Popkins. He walked to lead off the inning. Nick Kennedy looks in, has his sign, he's set. And now time is called as they want to do it again. No balls, 2 strikes, 1 man out, bottom of the 7th, 6-0 River City leads over your Wild Things. Kennedy has his sign, he's set, and the 0-2 pitch. And that one swung on a miss, Fink strikes out. There are now 2 outs here in the 7th, and the last chance for the Wild Things is first baseman Jimmy Yezzo. Yezzo so far 0 for 2, grounded out his first time and popped out in inning number 5. Game 3 of this 3-game series can be heard here tomorrow night, 7:05 first pitch, as Trevor Foss takes the hill for your Wild Things, opposed by Tim Coons for a Thirsty Thursday. Looking in is Nick Kennedy. Kennedy has his sign. He's set. And the pitch coming to Yezzo. And this ball grounded to second. Handled there by Mergiano. He throws on to first. And the ball game is over. Final score, River City wins game 2, 6-0. Keep it tuned right here to the MSA Sports Network. The Washington Wild Things postgame show is coming up. You've been listening to Washington Wild Things baseball right here on the MSA Sports Network.
AAA members enjoy 24/7 roadside assistance, exclusive member-only discounts, expert travel assistance, free identity theft protection, and much more. With that AAA card in your wallet or purse, you have the peace of mind, safety, and security that only AAA membership can provide. Already a member? Don't forget to renew. Not a member? Join AAA today at any nearby office or online at AAA.com. AAA, we're always with you.
We're back here on the MSA Sports Network's coverage of Washington Wild Things baseball. Final score here in Game 2 of the doubleheader. River City takes it from the Wild Things 6-0. The winning pitcher, Joe Pavlovich, he goes to 1-1. The losing pitcher, Luke Wilkins. Wilkins falls to 2-3 on the season. Scoring recap for you. The scoring got started in the top of the second. Will Martin walked to lead things off. Then Clint Freeman flew out. Braxton Martinez struck out before Jason Mergiano came through with a 2-out RBI triple that made the score 1-0 River City. Robbie Enslin would fly out to end the inning. Then in the third, River City added another run on as Alexi Colon walked to start things. Josh Ludi would ground out. Josh Silver would then reach on a 2-base error. So there were runners at second and third with, actually the run came in on the air as Alexi Colon scored from second base on the throwing error by Wolbrock. That made the score 2-0 River City. Kyle Goodell would follow that up with a single of his own. Runners were at first and third with 2 outs before Will Martin struck out to end the inning. Then the big inning in the fourth inning as River City added on 3 runs. Clint Freeman singled to start things. Then Braxton Martinez singled behind him. So they're first and second, 2, nobody out. Jason Mergiano and Robbie Enslin each struck out. So it looked like Wilkins was going to get out of it. But then an 2 RBI triple by Alexi Colon scored both Freeman and Martinez. That made it 4-0. Josh Ludi followed that up with an RBI single of his own. It was 5-0 River City at that point. Then Josh Silver would single and Kyle Goodell would pop out to end the inning. The last run for the River City Rascals coming in inning number 7. Josh Silver grounded out to start things, and Kyle Goodell singled, Will Martin singled, and a sac fly by Clint Freeman brought in Goodell and made the score 6-0 River City. Wild Things got a runner on in the bottom of the 7th as Popkins walked, and Andrew Heck flew out, Grant Fink struck out, and Jimmy Yezzo grounded out to end the ball game. Final score, River City takes game 2 of the doubleheader from the Wild Things, but they do split as the Wild Things won the first game by the score of 2-0, and the River City Rascals winning this game by the score of 6-0. Joe Pavlovich, the winning pitcher, goes to 1-1, and Luke Wilkins, the loser, goes to 2-3. This series wraps up tomorrow night, 7:05 first pitch, right here on the MSA Sports Network. You can hear it Thirsty Thursday here at the ballpark. If you can make it out, come out and support your Wild Things. All-star Trevor Foss will be on the hill for your Wild Things, coming off a rough start, 7-3 for Foss. He'll be opposed by Tim Coons for the River City Rascals. Your Wild Things star of the game tonight, going to go to Devin Davis. Davis, a perfect 6th inning in relief. Has done very well out of the bullpen for the Wild Things so far. Struck out 1 in that 1 inning of work. So Devin Davis, your Wild Things star of the game. Final score tonight in Game 2 of the doubleheader. River City wins 6-0. Thanks for listening tonight, everybody, and be sure to tune in tomorrow, 7:05 first pitch, with Trevor Foss on the hill. Have a good night, everyone.